Is he the canonical creator of the grease spell?
Yes.
Is that what we're going with?
He
In
did not
every
create
universe.
it, he perfected it.
Oh, I see.
true.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
He refined it.
Slipinator is happy
Lord.
to slip into the role of expert moistener.
Oh,
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Crabby D&D. You just heard the extract of the Slipinator.
The worst and best character I have ever made.
I need
Correct.
you to perform a Gandhi quote with the Slipinator voice right now. I need that in my life.
Which quote?
Whatever one tickles your fancy.
Putting
I
him on
do
the
need
spot
to
a
now
bit
look
there.
up to make sure I've got like. Funnily enough, I don't just have a list of Gandhi quotes, but
That's
luckily,
ridiculous.
I know.
That's absolutely shameful.
Maybe we'll get back to it later on in the session.
Yeah, maybe during our
Maybe.
break, Harlan will randomly say something in, say, a Gandhi quote
Just be in the
in
middle
the
of the
Slipinator's
session.
voice.
Oh,
It
God.
won't be in the break.
While he's wooing the Ice
All
King.
good thoughts and ideas mean nothing without action. Slippery action. Moist.
Oh, no.
I'm going to be ill for today's session. I can't make it.
We're going back to work.
So,
I'm happy. I've done my duty.
I am here with my players. Cat,
Hi.
Mortar,
Hello.
Kirv,
Hi.
Vinny,
Hello.
and Romulus.
Hello, and I'm sorry for everything I've already done.
Don't be, it's fine. I mean, it's not, but we'll have to deal with it.
But he will do it again.
Yep.
I apologize. I will do it again.
So then, hello everyone, and happy holidays. This will be the last session of 2024, so let us remind ourselves one last time where our party is at. Last session, our party of adventurers, Cat, Kirv, Mortar, Romulus, and Vinny, having completed their trials of friendship, completing various puzzles, fighting a ferret with a baseball bat, and being suspicious of one another. The party now prepares for the Ice King's banquet, the Guardian releasing them from their temporary captivity. With this lying in wait for the preparations of what is to come, tying up loose ends before leaving for Ovok Grove, and eventually a wild goose chase, which we will begin next year. So, as Cat breaks the key in two with Cychania, the key reforming into one of the three magical objects, which I have just remembered I forgot to type down, because I was going to do that today, but I went to sleep.
Reformed. I'll break it again. I'm joking.
Yeah, that's right. I have what they do in my book, I just haven't typed them up. As you all stand there kind of a little bit confused, but getting your bearings, the door opens and a Bryn, the ferret, walks through. Your guardian steps down from the platform towards all of you, and saying telepathically to all of you, now that your telepathic bond has been restored, well done, everyone. You've shown certain levels of mistrust of one another, but not without a healthy caution of trying to trust one another, not resorting to immediate violence.
Also hides his gun.
Roll me a stealth check.
It's not that good.
Let's make this sleight of hand, actually.
Oh, come on.
No.
Why?
Because you're worse at
What's
sleight of
sleight of
hand.
I mean, that's true, but like, it's still plus 4 in that.
Yeah.
That's a 12.
Alright.
So,
Yeah, he spots that you, like, kind of hide your gun. There's a moment where you throw it to one side and it just clatters on the ground. Everybody looks over. You just look away like nothing happened.
Yeah, nothing happened.
Yeah. You've all done well. You've received your 3 rewards, and I recommend you hold on to them. You shouldn't need them in the coming days, but they may still come in useful. Now, we have the Ice King's banquet to attend to, so if any of you would like to come with, I would recommend that we all go together. I'll still be keeping a watch on you, but you are free to leave the magnificent mansion should you want to.
A banquet. That's food, right?
Indeed.
I mean,
Is that a lot
Count
of
me
food?
in.
yeah, free food. Is it
There
free?
is... It is.
Hmm.
Did we ever get write-ups of the stuff we got?
No.
Not write-up versions, no, but... While you lot are RPing, I can type them up.
Woo!
No worries. So,
Okay. I mean, I'm keen for a banquet.
yeah, food sounds good. I could eat.
Especially after all that.
Honestly.
All that lines made me hungry.
I think you mean all that trust has made you hungry.
Yeah, all that trust.
I was mostly thinking of the baseball bat, essentially.
Oh, yeah.
That
was
too, yeah.
romantic.
Hey, nice job, Cat.
Hmm?
I didn't
Oh.
think you were on the bad side for a second.
To be honest with you, I didn't really. She looks at Cychania, who was the one that actually broke the key. I didn't give her a command. She just got fed up of waiting for me. Yeah, I knew what I was doing. I didn't want to betray you lot, so I was a traitor to the traitor role.
Would that make you innocent or a traitor?
A double agent, even cooler.
Damn.
I suspected all of you constantly, but was too stupid to work it out.
I shot at Vinny. I'm surprised I wasn't immediately ejected.
There's no accounting for poor decision making. Apparently,
Well-
there's a feast.
Yeah.
I mean, do we know anything about this festival? I don't think I've been to anything like this before.
Well,
Or banquet, sorry.
there is certainly people there.
Do we need to go and get attire that's more fitting for the occasion, or are we good just to rock up in what we have? Or
This is
You're
a
right.
time when you can dress in your fanciest clothing should you have any. Should you not, we have procured some simple garments for you to wear should you feel that you are overdressed in a different area. But there is no necessity to it.
why not? It might
Let
be
me
quite
check out
nice
what
to
you've
see
got.
everybody. Yeah, I was gonna say it might be quite nice to see everybody a little dolled up. You know, why not? We don't do it nearly enough.
Okay.
Romulus might put a shirt on for once.
Yeah, that'd be a nice change.
Don't be
Oh,
ridiculous.
I wouldn't count on it.
I think the closest that I think, and I'm happy to do this. The closest that will happen is like a not a tabard, a surcoat, but like a sleeveless surcoat, and it is open, so it functionally does very little to cover up any part of his top half, but it shows a bit of fashion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Love it.
So is this like a Is it like a gala, or is it like a
I
just?
think
Is it just where food? I
think
don't
it's
know.
sort of like a large party. You know, like a wedding party, you know, where everyone doesn't really know each other but still talks to each other like they know each other. And there's lots
Oh,
of food,
gotcha.
and some of it's bad.
It's
Oh,
a
that's that,
time for everyone to get together, bringing out what they have made, and but there's no need to contribute. The mages are able to conjure up food for the people and anyone else who needs it.
How long do we have? Because you said you don't need to contribute. That suggests you can.
It has already begun, and it will be going for probably the next 3 hours, but food itself will otherwise be over probably within the hour.
How much food will there be? Is there enough for a dragon?
There is. I'm curious to ask why, but there is enough for everybody, and more will be
She wants
conjured
to
should it
invite
be
the
needed.
dragon.
You saw Treladex, and he's probably been like years and years and years since he's actually eaten, and he's worked hard with our team. I just thought it'd be a
I
nice
mean,
reward for him
And
as
by all
well.
means.
Yeah, he has pulled his weight. He certainly pulled his weight. That's for sure.
Okay.
He also
And,
oftentimes pulls cat's weight as her mount.
That's horrendous.
Good one, Romulus.
Yeah.
Ha 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 ha. I have become the comedic father.
Oh no.
So how did he get out of here?
By the way, who was taking what? I'll put all 3 item descriptions in the...
I've got the glasses because they were on my head still. quite
Yeah,
tucked
I
down
don't remember
towards-
what
you
they were.
currently had the
And I've
key,
got the
but-
key. Whoever wants the key.
Yeah, but Romulus had the totem.
So,
Yeah.
what do these things do?
So, reader's glasses allow you to read all written script except for ancient language. You also have advantage on intelligence checks involving something that you read. So if you read something and you try to recall information, you have advantage on the history check.
Oh, perfect.
Key of Keepers allows you to cast Arcane Lock or Knock once per day. And Totem of Emboldenment is something that will ideally be passed around, but knowing who holds onto it can be useful because that person will have access to all 3 charges, and for a single charge you can give yourself enhance ability for an hour.
I would like to take the totem if possible.
I'd like the glasses as
I think
intelligence.
that makes sense. Yeah, I think those two make sense for you guys.
Honestly, the totem is at least partially purely based on aesthetics.
That you're a totem barbarian. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, figured.
But I did also think that this is an excellent opportunity for me to cast Enhance Ability on myself with the Strong, and then expand myself in order to become big and buff.
Nice.
Big-
Violent Beauregard.
well, essentially, there's the combination that I can use to make myself become buff as hell and be
Love
able to
it.
move 1,001 things.
That's awesome. I mean, we can decide where the key goes later. I mean, it's not like imminent.
Unless
Mhm.
anyone's desperate for it.
Nah, not really.
I just want it to be in someone's inventory so it doesn't get lost or forgotten.
I can
just-
keep it in mind.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Why don't you
I'll-
then? We can obviously pass it around if necessary.
I'll,
Yeah, it's
I'll
not
hand
something
it
we need
over
to look
to.
into, is it?
I'll hand it over to Kirv. There you go. Okay. You fought hard
Thank
for it.
you.
Well,
Besides, that was, a
I'm only
really,
thinking I can. Sorry, you go.
that was a really smart move with the darkness.
Oh, thank you.
She would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling kid.
I could see in the darkness.
I know.
And I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for your meddling bullshit.
It's okay. It only cost me half of my body.
I love us a bit of meddling bullshit.
Alright, I'd like to turn to the Guardian and be like, so where are the clothes that you have?
The clothes are in each of your rooms. Hopefully they are
Oh.
to your liking. We did what we could. We wanted to make sure that if you were going, that there was the possibility. They are on rent, though, so please don't damage any of them or modify any of them. They will be going back to their tailor tomorrow.
You absolutely preempted me. If they had given me something with sleeves, I was going to rip off the sleeves.
Mm-hmm.
I
So,
just sort of look over my anatomy of like,
I was gonna say it's like
I'm covered in spikes and bone shards. This will not
So-
go well.
So, I will preempt this by saying they had time to prepare stuff that was going to function for each of you according to what they believe would be your likes and dislikes. So I will allow each of you to describe your outfit that you receive as part of the Ice King's banquet. If anybody has any immediate know what they want to do, I know that Romulus, you mentioned something regarding a sleeveless surcoat. So if there is any bits that you might want to add to this design, you may go ahead and do so.
Right now, or do you like?
Just if anybody has any inkling on they know exactly what they want for their character, they can go ahead and say now. Otherwise, we can get to it in a bit.
I mean, I've got what I'm planning, but I think I'm happy to do the reveal at where do the
On the
coming
catwalk
on the
style?
stairs scene,
Yeah.
yeah, you know what I mean.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
So,
I'm gonna be typing this up in the group chat.
oh yeah, go for it. So,
I'll figure out what
Yeah. I'll continue RPing while you have a little bit of thinking time. So, you all have your clothes accordingly, and once you are all prepared, we will head out for the banquet. There is as much food as you might want to eat, and it is then followed by a series of dances and music being played, and then a final wind-down speech from the Ice King himself. So, please do feel free to stay as long as you wish. But after this, I will be returning to my duties. It has been interesting watching all of you with what you have been doing. I'm glad I could have helped in this scenario. I look forward to hearing great things from all of you.
Don't hold your breath. But we appreciate your confidence.
Of course. Now,
We thank you for your help.
Mm-hmm.
It's wasn't going to be quite so pessimistic, but yeah, we do appreciate everything you've done.
you are very welcome. Now, please do go and get changed and get yourselves prepared if you would like to. If not, then wait down here and we will wait for everybody to be ready. So, I will ask, is there anybody not getting changed into an outfit? Because they either like what they're currently wearing, or because they simply don't have any ideas on what they might look like with the new outfit.
I think that's a no.
That's a no. Alright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In which case, before everybody heads off to their room, a Bryn approaches you, Romulus. And otherwise kind of just kind of gives you a little tap on the back of the leg as a general wanting to chat sort of thing.
Hello. Oh, do you need me to do the thing?
Nope,
or can
I'm good.
Cool, thank you.
If
what
it's
is
any
up?
if it's any consolation, you would make a great ferret, and if you're ever looking for work, more than happy to have you work here if you want.
Make it great.
I deeply appreciate it, and if I do find myself looking for work, I should be most happy to assist you. For the moment, however, I have my duties, and I must care for my daughter.
Understood.
But again, thank you, and might I say, as much as I perhaps resent the glee you had in doing so, you were most impressive.
Thank you. I don't get to do that very often. It's strange how being a familiar with one hit point, you don't get to do a lot of things, and then suddenly you're made invulnerable and you can hit people with random stuff. It's great.
I can understand the glee that can come from that.
Yes. Sorry if I took it a tad too far.
No, don't worry. It was a good learning experience for all of us.
Yes. Anyway, enjoy your time out at the banquet. And Bryn wanders off through the staff-only door. Okay. You all head up to your rooms, and there within your wardrobes or hanging over the end of the bed, you find an outfit that has been tailored and specifically prepared for you and your aura that you would give off. Is there anybody who would like to go first?
I was going to say, is it worth us? We could do it in order, like initiative order, like see who comes down the stairs first and everything.
We could. Problem with that is there might be people who aren't prepared. So it's more of a when people people are ready, they may begin. So if anyone would like to take center stage.
Yeah, I'll go first.
Okay. As Mortar, you get changed into your outfit and begin to wander down the stairs. The Guardian is there waiting. Otherwise,
yeah. So Mortar's before Mortar puts on his clothes, he has a shower.
And yet he's the first one downstairs.
In this campaign, this is the first shower. This campaign, yeah, Mortar doesn't know how to shower, so he says he showered, but he doesn't know how. But his hair, his hair, which is normally a mess, which is like just chaos, has actually been brushed, and it's actually quite long, kind of like pulled back, but not like kind of slicked or anything like that. It just kind of naturally falls and comes back away from his face. His clothes, he's wearing a black like button-up shirt, which the top two buttons are kind of undone a little bit, and he is wearing just nice kind of like nice like dress trousers and like some but with some like boots, some like leather black leather boots which kind of go up to his kind of the midway of his calf. They're quite high. He's also wearing his sleeves are like rolled up, and he's basically revealing his robotic arm, but it's been given like black and gold kind of like plating to make it look a little more a little less kind of thrown together and give it a little more, you know, a little more pizzazz, a little more of an aura. And he's wearing like a jacket with some gold filigree on it, just to kind of give him a little bit of color and make him stand out a tad. And he kind of walks down. He's had a shave as well. He's looking a little more kind of put together, and he's kind of just looking. He's just kind of looking around. He's like feeling his face a little bit because he's not used to not wearing his mask and his goggles. And he's not used to himself not being, you know, with a little bit of scruff. So he looks and smells very different.
I like the thought that you take your mask off and then all of your facial hair just kind of piles out because you don't take your mask off very much.
Honestly, yeah. I've just been like rolling it up.
Rolling it up each day, and now you just got a pair of scissors, snip, snip. Job done.
Yeah, literally.
Okay. So, with the very nice attire and...
I also have the Black Scorpion holster on my leg, with Black Scorpion housed within it.
Okay. Cool. Also, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you first described the idea of your hair being all neat, would you say it is not unlike from My Hero Academia back ago when he goes to see Mr. Genist?
No.
He's had his hair all combed and he looks angry.
Nowhere near that at all. It's
Okay.
it's longer. It's quite long and it's got like quite a lot of volume to it, which you don't usually see because of how like bird's nesty is. It's like it's actually quite long, and it's got like quite a bit of
Okay.
yeah, it's just got a bit to it.
Okay. So with that, you are the first down, and you're caught a little bit off guard. You thought you were taking your time, and you were probably going to be the last one prepared, but
Holy shit!
apparently the rest of the party
Was I supposed
needs
to?
extra time.
Mortar kind of looks around. He goes, "Was I supposed to do more?" Like, like looking around, he's like, hello? Did you all leave?"
So, who would be next down the stairs?
I'm happy to go next.
Take it away.
Vinny's new outfit is not too dissimilar from his usual one. The same style of like long dark blue coat, although it's much longer in this form, almost down to the backs of his knees, and an even darker, like rich royal blue with kind of frilled like cuffs and a large cravat, and a wide-brimmed hat with a single large red feather sticking out, and 2 holes for his horns.
Badass.
Do you have any like ceremonial or sheaths for your scimitar / short sword or anything, or any like fake swords for the occasion?
I think probably the standard sheaths for his normal swords, although I will have more sort of fancier, more like decorative sheaths for Vinny's various daggers,
Okay.
rather than just slipped haphazardly into whatever folds he could conceal them in.
Okay. So, you make your way down the stairs, Vinny. You and Mortar otherwise kind of nod to one another approvingly of the
Looking sharp.
outfits.
Looking sharp there, my man.
Okay.
You're not looking bad yourself.
I was about to say, two more.
That's a long set of
Brian,
stairs.
It's Brian contemplating. It's like, who the hell is this?
Yeah, honestly, he's just there like, how did you get in here?
Who are you?
Enough one of the King's Guards? Come on, how many of
Honestly,
these guys
yeah.
are there?
You don't look like a ferret.
Oh, Mortar, my apologies.
Yeah.
I actually didn't recognize Mortar, just recognized the gun.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah, he was like, gun equals Mortar.
I mean, there was no mask on, there was no goggles on.
That's true.
There's.
He does look very
The
different.
goggles! They do nothing!
He looks like he actually.
No,
kind of
apologies, my
took
sound cut up for a second.
Nah, that's good, bro. Damn, I genuinely thought everybody left without me. Like, I was like, I took a shower, like, and everything. I was the first one down here. I thought, holy shit, like, I took ages. Is everybody left, or are they still getting ready, or?
Just to check, this is a shower with water or something.
Just oil.
Yeah. How else are we supposed to take a? How else are we supposed to shower?
No, that is the
He
correct
says
way.
that, he says that like
Oh,
it's
that's
a
correct.
thing. He's actually asking.
No, I'm genuinely asking.
Yeah.
It's like, does everybody else use like tea, or like what do they use? Yeah, like, you know, and then I ate the they had a little favor in the shower. It was a little bar of animal fat, and I ate that, and it was lovely. It does make my tummy feel a little squiggly.
Squeaky clean.
Oh, don't worry, I'm sure that'll sort itself out.
Oh, I feel like I'm going to be farting bubbles.
Disadvantage on all stealth checks for the next day. Um,
Honestly.
so, who is next?
I'm
if it's-
happy.
Mhm.
After you, please.
I was just going to say, if it's all right, I think Kirv would be last.
Okay.
Oh, please tell me we're getting the moment I think we're getting. Then Romulus is more than happy to show up next.
Okay.
Romulus appears wearing a snow-white sleeveless surcoat with silver embellishments and accents in the shape of various winter creatures. There is a robin, a wolf, a white stag, reindeer, etc., and most prominently, a few bears upon the chest. You see that there is
Bare chest.
exactly. There is a dyed white leather harness wrapping around his waist, holding the surcoat in place, and then reaching up in a sort of like a T pattern to wrap around his shoulders so that he can hold a weapon, specifically the Dane axe, the handle of which has been wrapped with white and silver ribbon. He wears a grey and white kilt over his bottom half with snowflake embroidery throughout, almost looking like it is storming and blustering as he walks. And Romulus has rubbed white makeup through his fur, making his fur a paler shade, almost snow white, with pale blue accents and streaks running throughout.
Awesome.
Wow.
Oh yes,
Loving
I'm going to
it.
fuck that Ice King.
Hey, Romulus, nice skirt.
Lord.
Thank you, I think I look rather fetching in it.
It's an interesting choice, but yeah, fair enough. It works for you.
Yes, the ease of movement is extremely useful in a fight.
Not to mention that persistent updraft you keep getting.
You do realize that this entire campaign I have been wearing a kilt, yes?
No,
Yeah.
I've never had an excuse to look down there.
You say look down, it's basically head height.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's kind of like
Hey, your eyes are up here.
it's literally the entire campaign so far. He's
The
just been
one
looking
time
up.
Mortar drinks respecting people juice.
What flavour is it?
No.
Guava.
Oh, I fucking love
Oh,
guava.
shit, yeah, give me some of that.
I mean, yeah, you know what? You're fucking right. I love guava too.
Oh, not enough products taste like guava.
Not enough. Not enough.
Okay.
Um,
Cat.
Okay. Okay. Alright, so Cat comes downstairs. Clothes quite similar to normal clothing that she'd wear, in the kimono sort of style. But it's white with pink flowers on it, and right at the bottom, over along the very base of it, are cats and cat paw print. The material's not nearly as thick as normally would be, and the sleeves are very long, extending well past her hands. Yes, Chris, I did get the idea from Vex. But, yep, extending well past her hands to cover her corrupted form. And she's walking down the stairs with all of her hair bundled into her arms. Can someone help me with this?
Oh.
all right.
That's
Romulus is
adorable.
immediately going to start going up and start assisting.
Okay.
Also, I was
Braids,
like,
I
I don't know
assume?
anything about hair, so...
Yeah, I can't do it. My hands, or these aren't as dexterous as hands.
I'll say,
then.
for the sake of how much hair there is, while Romulus, you're doing this, go ahead and make me I'll say a sleight of hand check with advantage here.
Oh, that's from me.
Yes, please.
Excellent. Sleight of hand.
I think
Is
this is the
that?
most time I've asked for a sleight of hand check in a single session.
Yeah.
Apologies. I thought I'd loaded up Tabletop Simulator. It seems I had not.
That's all right.
Please roll me 2d20.
We got an 8 and a 9.
Oh
It's an
dear.
11.
11. Okay. You've done this before, and you otherwise are preparing the braids as need be, but I'll say while this is happening, Kirv is preparing to come out of her room, and for the sake of expediency, given the amount of hair, I'll say that ferrets otherwise rush out from the nearby staff door, climb up Cat, and proceed to like help with the braiding as need be.
Thank you.
Okay. Are you wearing any form of wrap over you, Cat, to help with the spines on your back or anything? Or
No, there's nothing. They stick out too much for me to try and wrap that.
Okay.
I'm hoping that I've put my cloak, my normal cloak, over it, so I'm hoping they'll cover some of them. But
okay, so it will cover some of it, yeah.
yeah, but I mean, between the back legs and spines, sometimes it's impossible.
Okay. The Guardian otherwise speaks to you mentally in your head. If you want, I can otherwise code you an illusion so you don't have to feel as out of place if you would like.
Please?
And he is going to cast Seeming. If there's anything that anybody else would like any forms of corruption or anything that they might be embarrassed about on their character, then we will say for the purposes of it, the Seeming will cover that at a personal request. But for the most part, it's mainly for Cat's corruption.
Romulus, some sexy glow. Some blue eyes.
I mean, yeah, if you...
Completely cosmetic effects.
I'm fine with it, yeah. If you want to, add, oh, you have a slight radiant glow to you, you can. I'm not going to say no.
Every scar that is on my body glows ever so faintly in the same shade of pale blue as the...
Okay. I dig it.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah. It's when he starts changing the seeming and it becomes prismatic that we suddenly have a disco ball in Romulus. And finally, coming down the stairs as the last one before the banquet, or before you should all head to the banquet, Kirv.
I like the idea that there's this grand reveal, Kirv stands at the top of the stairs, and it's just her in her armor, just standing. She just walks downstairs what we wait for?
She's her hair up.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know, she brushed her hair the other way.
No,
Sorry.
okay, so look, Kirv, she's from hell, and if there's one thing that's important there, it's presentation, especially for devils. Her family, they do their best to always look, to a certain standard, but money isn't always there to get the best stuff. But now, she has I would argue, expensive outfit, very nice, and she is going to try and look her best. She's taking inspiration from powerful devils, as they are sort of the I guess the celebrities of her world, you could say. So she's got on this kind of burnt red suit. The sleeves are folded up, and on her forearms are golden bracelets, and she has chunky golden rings on her fingers, on the ends of her horns, little golden caps. She has a couple buttons down of her shirt and a undone bow tie. She, in her hair, has done several very small plaits going around, and she has for once taken off the mask that she always keeps on her forehead. So she has wisps of hair coming down her face, and she's feeling very confident as she comes down the stairs.
Nice.
Well, you said taking inspiration from hell. I was like, please don't run down the stairs on fire.
That's amazing. That would be a power move. But not today, I think.
I mean, if you want to, Seeming is there for fun. So.
Yeah, you could actually.
If you want to have Fate animated fire, you can.
She
No, I mean,
would
that's
like to
it.
stay tasteful,
Okay.
Not too gaudy.
not
Okay.
too corny. She doesn't
So-
want to look like she's
Oh, yeah,
trying
but
too
it's-
hard.
Fair enough. Mortar kind of sees this and he maybe looks a little longer than he intimidates. Than he like
Intimidates.
intended to. before he looks away. Before like a little more than he intended to before he kind of looks away.
A little in awe.
A little, yeah,
Aw.
definitely. But he's very much like,
Mm-hmm.
well,
Okay.
gang's all here. Let's hit the streets.
Indeed. The Guardian hasn't changed their attire, but you know
Hit
that they
the
are.
streets and eat some meat.
You note that they are wearing what seems to be some form of regalia on their shoulder to mark them as a King's Guard. So you suspect it's possibly part of the job that they're supposed to look like this. You otherwise leave the magnificent mansion into the small inn and tavern coming down from the room. The tavern keep isn't currently there, and you note that there is a sign on the inside of the door, and you can see that the open-closed sign is currently set to closed for the outside, and the sign on the inside basically just says, take your room key and use it to lock the door when you're done. As you open the door, head out, and the door is locked behind you for the inn. So,
As we get outside, is it empty out here? Like, immediately outside?
outside, you have otherwise take a look outside, and as you step out into the cold, you can see that there are a few people, not as many as you might expect in this area. You can see that there are a number of people otherwise. They kind of have tables out and they're sat and they're talking, and you note that there are a few guards who have moved to and from. There are like ice elementals that are standing guard around the city. Just as many as you'd normally expect, but they are much more making their presence known. But you look down the way towards the kind of the base of the basin here at the top of the caldera, and you can see that there are tables laid out throughout, and there are thousands of people all mingling around that area. It gets slowly more dense the further in you go, but there are tables and such that have been set up, very much like when you see pictures of like people celebrating at the end of the World War II, with like the tables out in the street and then people coming in bunting everywhere. People have actively put in a lot of effort. You can see that there are what looks to be homemade dishes that have been placed out on some of the tables, and other bits which are very clearly marked as conjured food, so still useful, but for all intents and purposes not homemade, so there cannot be any credit given.
Okay. I'm looking for somewhere that I can summon Trellidex where if something goes wrong, I'm not going to blow people up.
Okay, so doing that right here at the entrance to the inn will probably be best then.
Okay, cool. Alright, I'm going to summon Trellidex.
Go ahead and roll wild magic, see if anything happens.
Here we go.
2.
Oh.
Something happens.
Wonderful.
That's
Tactical nuke.
Okay, it's not 7, so we're not going to blow up.
Okay.
yet. Who knows? Could be a delayed blast fire, but what was the number?
25.
25.
So it's been a 42.
Okay, so for the next minute, nobody notices this, and not even you notice this. But underneath the seeming for the next minute, an extra eye from the corruption spawns and just begins shifting and looking around, giving you advantage on perception checks, but then disappears after that minute is done. So nobody knows what happens.
Oh, very good, very good. I can take that. All right.
For a minute, the
Just
creatures.
suddenly goes silent.
For a minute, the
Suddenly goes
creatures.
silent. Our eyes go really wide.
What do I see? And the creature's just
Yeah,
inside
honestly,
the
it's
arm,
like,
going like, "Oh, they're at a festival. Neat," and then disappears after that.
Huh.
Ah, neat.
You know what it probably does? Because humbug.
And then leaves.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
BRB very quickly.
Yeah, that's right. So, the festival awaits. Is there anything particular anyone would like to do, or are you all heading down to the center of the caldera to partake in the festivities and the food?
I'd need to get. Or did you say someone else has got the bands for cat's back legs?
Yes, someone already got them, and I'd say they'd be in your room, so they're already equipped.
Okay, sweet. Okay, cool. Then yeah, no, I have nothing else to do. Just eat and give Trellidex some food. And I wonder if Terrador eats. What could he eat?
I'm going to explore, see the sights, wander around a little bit.
Terrador's
Get a
been
feel
asleep
for
under
the,
the
for
inn.
the atmosphere.
Yeah, that's fine. He can tag along.
Yeah, Terrador otherwise wanders out with you. So is there anything specific anyone would like to do, or should we get into describing what exactly takes place?
No, I don't. Just the feast, really.
Yeah,
Do I see the
wanna
king?
see the-
Make me a perception check. We'll say this is something that you do as you get closer.
Mhm. That's
Natural 20. Okay.
Oh,
You
really?
Shit up.
all the times I could have rolled a nat 20 for this.
Hey,
You
As-
see the pants off it.
as you are wandering down, I'll actually say the only other one who could potentially get this, I'll say Romulus is probably going to roll for this in a minute, but Mortar, if you'd like to give a roll as well, given your perception is particularly high. Just remember you don't have advantage because you're not
Yeah,
currently
sure.
wearing your goggles. They'll still be on your person,
That
but
is right.
for the sake of the attire, we'll have it be a
Yeah,
single.
I don't have them. I don't have them equipped necessarily. So yeah.
Yeah, but in a pinch you
So
can put them on if need
Purple
be.
Eyes Bear.
Yeah, purple-eyes bear. That is 13.
13, okay. In the harsher nature of the light here, where you're used to kind of the tinted nature of your goggles and how they shield your eyes
Yeah.
from like the harsh sun and like dust storms and everything else. Not wearing them, it's been a while since they've been exposed in this manner. So it's
Oh yeah.
a little bit tricky, but not problematic by any means. You can't necessarily...
Blinking
you don't,
heavily for sure.
blinking heavily. You don't necessarily note the Ice King, but you presume he's about. Before I get to describing the Ice King and potentially have Romulus roll, is there anything else anybody else would like to do? I'm not going to forget the natural 20. I just need to wait till Romulus gets back, because if he is going to try and swoon the king, I want him to know what he's getting in for.
Oh God, yeah,
I mean,
fair.
I want to do a bit of sightseeing, like get kind of a feel for the atmosphere of this place. Kind of like and it's the first time Mortar's felt like this. He's wearing like something nice. He's like done himself up a little bit. He's like, yeah, I want to walk around, want to get a feel for this, get a feel for what this place has to offer, whatever that may be.
Okay.
And before Mortar goes off too far, Kirv did want to quickly have a talk with him.
Oh yeah, sure, no worries.
Yeah, so she takes it in what it looks like. She says, "It's nice to see your eyes for once."
Mortar doesn't really know how to respond to that. He kind of rubs the back of his neck awkwardly and, thanks. Light's kind of harsh, so I'm just trying to get him used to it. But yeah, not a lot of people are very accepting of any kind of like difference. So I was like, why the hell not? It's for one night.
She pauses and thinks for a second, and then she is going to sort of twist her hand, and in her hand, using minor illusion, she makes a small flower of lavender, and she just places it in your suit pocket, like the top chest pocket, just to match your eyes. She smiles, and then she goes and joins the party.
Mortar blushes, and stands there for a minute, really unsure of what to do. He kind of like looks around, and he looks lost for a minute, and then he just kind of puts his hands in his pockets with a smile, with like a proper genuine smile on his face, and kind of watches Kirv go before walking to explore the area.
Roll me an insight check.
Oh.
What, me?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes, you, Mortar.
Ah, okay. There we go. That's what I was waiting for.
Yep, that's right.
What is my insight? Oh, okay, it's pretty good. Pretty good. Oh, shit. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. As this whole transaction happens and whole experience happens between the two of you in this moment as Kirv walks off to enjoy the party, you're standing there kind of feeling in this moment a sense of joy, a smile creeps across your face. You can't help it.
Yeah.
But you otherwise look around and you see an individual. Looks to be a mother of some kind, currently sat there with her, with what looks to be a kind of young, maybe 6-year-old, who's currently enjoying the feast and very much climbing up onto the table a little bit, but being put back down and sat down. And you lock eyes with her as she is otherwise looking at you, and she mouths, "Go get her," and thumbs off in Kirv's direction.
Mortar blinks to make sure she's real.
She is, and she just smiles back
Oh.
at you before her child otherwise requires her attention, and she otherwise kind of sits him back down and puts the food he was reaching for onto his plate before kind of looking back, just kind of smiles and then keeps looking on and enjoying the party herself. A sense of you get the sense that she may have just been happening to look in your direction, seeing this strange interaction of kind of some light magic and something before seeing a nervous young man standing there not knowing what to do, and thought she'd give it a little bit of a push, should you want to take that as reason. After all, there is a dance coming up in the next hour.
I see. So Mortar is going to again be kind of stunned for a minute, and then he'll kind of go, "What happens at the festival, I guess?" And then Mortar will follow after Kirv. Hey, Kirv, wait up. Hold up.
Okay. You follow on after Kirv.
Yeah.
Vinny, is there anything you'd like to do during this time?
Is there a lot of music being played as this is happening?
Not at the moment. You can see that there are instruments that are being set up. There are individuals kind of going about preparing for what looks to be some form of performance in the center of this, the center of the main square in town. You can see that they are, as you were made aware, seemingly preparing for a dance, and so music is on the list.
Mm-hmm. Okay. In that case, then I'm just going to try and, while the food is still being served, try as many different kinds as possible.
Okay. You go around and try as much food as you can. Kat, is there anything you would like to do? I will also note that the Guardian will be staying by your side specifically for all of this, but we'll be sending out mental pings roughly every half hour to an hour to make sure everybody is okay with the telepathic bond.
That's fine. That's fair. No, I mean, I'm gonna see if I can get Romulus. It's gonna be the first time I've ever done this, but see if I can get Romulus to summon Cinder so she can also be involved and hold concentration.
Okay.
And if that works, we're gonna go around and see. Well, to start with, what everyone wants to eat. Like, if Terrador and Cinder can even eat, and what Treladex wants, and I'm just gonna pick up everything I can find that looks sweet.
Okay. I have to wait for Harlan to get back, unfortunately. We've got 2 things riding on Harlan getting back. Do we want to use this time just to have a quick, few minutes break just to prepare for this?
Yeah, I'll
Given that
go
we've
grab a
got
cup
both.
of tea.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. I'll
Not a
use
bad
this to
idea.
go and get myself a cup of tea as well. So, we'll be back in just a mo. Yeah, don't go anywhere.
Yep, I return. Anyone here? Oh.
I'm back.
Oh, welcome back. We took a break because we've got 2 things riding on you.
Well,
Well, they're
fuck,
not technically riding on you, but we're waiting for 2 things.
The only thing I want riding on me
Is the Ice King.
is the
Oh my
Ice King.
god.
There
Oh,
we
Benoit
go.
Just to clarify, what exactly has happened whilst I've been away?
So basically, we're all got there, and Chris was like, see if you can see the Ice King, so people had to roll. Kirv got nat 20. Mortar rolled shit, so he didn't see. Waiting on you to roll because we all bet that you're probably going to be trying to see if you could see him. And then I've also just said that I want to see if I can get you to summon Cinder, so everyone can be involved in the party. And hold concentration on Cinder being out.
Okay,
Hello.
do we think I can actually do that?
Well, the thing is, if I give you the crystal's charged.
Alright, okay.
She
Yeah, good.
probably can't engage in any combat or anything, but she might physically be able to exist out.
Okay, well that's something.
And I'm being walked round by the Guardian.
Nice, nice. Whilst we're waiting, has anyone seen Wicked?
No.
Any thoughts?
The film or the
I mean, either or. I guess currently the film is the big thing, but if
Mhm.
you've seen the musical, then all the better.
I have not seen the film. I find because of the background context with the actors and that a little bit. I don't think I could watch it for what it is because I'd be thinking about that, you know.
How much of that is Ariana Grande just being Ariana Grande?
80%,
Yeah.
and the other is the other guy who
What am
might
I
have left
missing
his
here?
wife for her.
I'm back.
Oh,
Yikes!
okay.
Oh, I forgot that was a thing.
Yeah. Oh, it is wicked.
Wicked.
Was it Barry Keoghan or something?
It's awful, but I don't even know his name.
No, that's a different one. Who am I thinking of? Oh god, there's so much controversy.
Okay. Have we got everybody back, or are we still missing people?
No idea.
Yep, back.
I'm back.
Simon, you here? No. Cool. Wait till Simon's back.
What are your thoughts then? I was about to call you Romulus.
Bombus.
What are your
Romulus.
thoughts on Wicked then, Romulus?
Well, my thoughts are very simple. Having seen the new movie adaptation, it was faithful and honestly well done. It will never be the original musical because, you know,
Mhm.
it just won't be. But it was pretty fucking good. My personal, I did enjoy the casting. Surprisingly enough, Ariana Grande was in fact good as Glinda.
I've heard that.
Shockingly so.
Back in secondary school,
That's Simon.
I was dating a girl and she loved Wicked. Like every day she would sing all the Wicked songs and she would talk to me about it and everything. I think it was like her special interest at the time. So I mostly know everything I know about Wicked, I know from her, basically.
Is that Simon coming back, I heard?
That was me, yes.
Wonderful. Then we shall continue. I have a secret message.
Oh, it's not really a secret. It was just.
Oh, okay.
Also,
Yeah.
I did like how they did very correctly lean into the tension between Glinda and Elphaba.
That tension, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. So, as we return to this, we will return back to the actions which are currently being held for the time being. Of which I will ask Romulus, please make me a perception check.
Excellent. I shall perceive. Do I use my fucking totem to give myself advantage on this?
You could. It will be. Keep in mind
Oh,
that it will be for your wisdom checks for the next hour, so it will work on everything. Just keep in
Honestly,
mind
that's
that
just-
then,
That could be good.
if you then wish to change it to a different stat, you need to use a second charge.
I honestly don't plan to use this again today. This is purely for funsies. Fuck it. Yeah, let's go
Yeah,
with
go for it.
wisdom.
I mean,
Let's do it.
that's why you got these ones. They're out of combat spells. They work very well for what they do.
Beautiful. That's a 19.
19. Okay. You look around. You can't see a notable Ice King anywhere. Like, you'd expect regalia. You'd expect like King's Guards and stuff. You'd expect a personal table. But no, you can't see him anywhere. And you're like, oh, maybe he's just not here. Maybe he's enjoying his feast elsewhere. Kirv, on the other hand, with a natural
nat
20.
Beautiful.
You're looking around and you don't see any of this either, and you're like, well, I guess he's not here. And then your eyes catch something as you're otherwise looking around. You note what looks to be an individual walking around from table to table talking to the people here. And as you look at them, you note that they wear a simple, almost circlet tiara in the way that it is presented. A relatively large, what looks to be kind of a square masculine form of what looks to be a bright grey orc individual. You can see that they have what looks to be two tooth cat or tusks which otherwise stick up above their upper lip. And they have simple caps on them. You can see that they wear a fairly simple but well-made tailored outfit. What looks to be more of just like a formal wear. Not some grand expression of who he is, but the idea of he is just another person. You can see that there are elements to it where he has presumably tried to do a little bit of tailoring himself, trying to modify or enhance the outfit in some form or another, and it has succeeded in some areas and failed in others. He otherwise wanders around, and you note that there are two Kingsguard with him, but they are not wearing like armor or anything typical. They are wearing what looks to be also formal wear, but they do have the patch that identifies them as Kingsguard. You are taken aback by this, as for all your understanding of hell and the nature of like archdevils being these big powerful figures who live in castles or live in these otherwise very dangerous lairs with servants who do their bidding and an air of superiority about them, he seems very down to earth. And you're taken aback looking around, you're like, this can't be the Ice King. But every time you look back, you see that there are people bowing, kind of giving their respects, and he's talking to them and helping as need be, and you watch as he is conjuring food for various people and seemingly talking, and you note that he is seemingly handing out these small bits of paper as he goes. He somewhat reminds you of Romulus to a certain degree.
Oh, God.
As he does wander around, it's up to you if you wish to point this out to Romulus. Currently it is you and Mortar who have wandered off to try some food. Vinny has done the same as well. And Romulus, it's up to you if you wish to travel with anybody in particular, but the Guardian will be keeping a close tabs on Cat and then mentally pinging all of you every so often to make sure you're all okay. So,
I would turn to Mortar and ask, are all kings on the material plane like that?
Mortar kind of pokes his head over and kind of squints his eyes and goes, "That's a king? I have no idea. I've actually never met one. So the only royalty I know, or nobility I know, is like what? No, Cat and Romulus, I think.
Maybe isn't as
Pretty sure that-
uncommon then as I thought.
I have no idea. I mean, kind of seems a bit lax though. I mean, we've only got two guards. I mean, kind of seems like.
Don't
a
get any
bit of an
ideas, Mortar.
No. I mean, honestly, but let's just say I was that way inclined. Let's just say I was that way inclined.
Hey, Mortar, roll me a history roll.
First.
All right.
It makes me laugh. It's only 2 guards, and think back to Fairmar's 2 guards.
That is 10.
10? Okay. I will say... Do you want to succeed on this? It's not going to cost you anything. This is just a do you want to succeed? Because it makes sense that you might know something along these lines.
Go on then. Yeah, if I were in character, like know something, yeah, sure.
So, although you don't particularly know much about the Ice King's domain and their traditions and culture, the one thing you do know, which you found as probably the coolest thing that you liked about the Ice King's domain, was that anybody can challenge the Ice King to a duel to the death for the succession of the throne. But you also know that the Ice King has been around for a number of years, and people have challenged and failed spectacularely. Individuals who are great generals who have been felled due to his powers. Now, notably, you didn't roll high enough to know anything extra. You just know that that is the tradition.
A kind of a cheeky grin begins to grow across Mortar's face as he recollects this, and he goes, "One day for sure, but not tonight."
Is it possible to duel for other things?
Roll me a history check.
Oh, for the love of...
Ah, damn it. That's intelligence. This is gonna suck.
Yeah, I do save it.
16.
16.
Not bad.
I'll say that although you're not there and you haven't noticed the Ice King, I'll say that you do know a little bit of the traditions because Minotaurs do live down here, down south, and you have taken a little bit of interest in understanding their culture a little bit as you were growing up. They tend to have challenges and duels be something that you do on off days. So, on a day of festivities like today, challenges are usually not permitted. Today is a day of celebration, of calm and enjoying oneself. This is not a day for fighting by any means. You do know that there are things that you can challenge about. You can have duels either for fun, you can have them for various tribunal disputes, you can have them for shows of power or picking up various bits and pieces, like many Minotaur families around the globe, I suppose. You know that there are traditions of if one Minotaur can best another, then they are considered the more worthy for a particular task. Jamie may recognise this from Campaign 1 when he actually where Rook broke his father's arm in order to become the worthy one so that he could undertake the curse and the mission.
Yeah.
So, that's an example of that. A show of strength can be used in a lot of scenarios, although you know that today wouldn't be a day for that. But as you go around trying various bits of food, do any of you settle in a single location to eat, or are you kind of going from table to table, picking out different bits of food and then moving on? That does seem like quite a few people are doing this, but some people have settled down on specific tables, possibly with a favourite dish, or otherwise they're just sitting down with family to eat.
Before I head off from Romulus, I'll give him Cinder's crystal. I don't know how possible this is, but would you be able to try and concentrate on this and see if you can call Cinder out? I'd like her to also experience the festivities.
I can give it a try. I'm going to hold this crystal.
Okay. I will say go ahead and roll me a concentration check. I will say that
Before I start, I'm just going to say, my top really wants this. Please work. And then I'm going to make the concentration check.
Okay, so this is a
Surely he should get advantage.
This is a con
Yeah,
save.
surely.
This is a con save because you can't because you don't traditionally use magic, and because this is more for an RP purpose. I will say I'll make this a DC 20, so it's quite high, but I believe you have quite a high con. So
I have a +4.
do you not have proficiency in it?
Really? To con saves?
Oh, con save.
Yeah,
oh.
con save.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, +8. +8.
Okay,
I
yeah.
was like, what?
Yeah, I was like +4. What happened to your con?
Yeah,
Sorry.
Did
What
putting
was
on
going
put on the tuxedo
didn't-
squished all that con into one spot, and he doesn't no longer
Yeah,
has any of it.
honestly, yeah. Is that your con and
Let's
you just pleased to
see.
see me?
Let's see what we get. Ah, just falls a little short.
18.
I mean, 18. Yeah.
Trying to concentrate on
Um,
this as much as you can. Unfortunately, there are restrictions to the spell. You can obviously swap between the two of them, Cat, but you can't have both of them out at the
Fine.
same time, unfortunately. Romulus,
How
you do
close
hold
is
the crystal
Romulus?
and concentrate. You do feel like in the future this is something that is possible, but your studies of rune magic need to progress a bit further, and then the understanding becomes a bit more concrete.
I'm sorry, Cat.
Sorry,
I've not yet
how-
got the ability to do that.
How close is Romulus to me, out of curiosity? Or did he go separately?
I would say you and Kirv have otherwise gone off separately at this point, so you wouldn't have
Okay,
any
no worries.
possible clock on him at this
That's
time.
fine. No worries at all.
That's cool. No worries. Well, you have fun. I'm gonna go see if I can find some food for all of us. Gesturing to like the entire ensemble of elementals and dragon that she's got behind her.
Yeah, the Guardian seems to be basically steering you around the exterior of everything that's going on, rather than necessarily leading you into the middle, because it is quite crowded. But around the outside, there seems to be a little bit more room and maneuverability for large creatures such as your summons.
Cool. Okay. I'm gonna just be keeping an eye out for, like, just talk to the guy. So, any idea where I can get a large amount of meat from?
I mean, there'll be food all over. If you request something from any of the guardians that are otherwise standing at the various tables, they can make you the food you need. If you need a large amount of meat for your dragon companion, then they can do as such.
Okay. I'm gonna look for the nearest guardian at the table and head towards that.
Okay.
With the least people around it. So
Yeah. Okay.
as not to get.
Okay. You head up to one of the tables. Go ahead and roll me a d20, please.
A D20. That's a 1.
That's right. You head up to the table. You otherwise kind of settle down with your summons and such. The guardian looks to you, and you otherwise request the meats for Treladex. The various meats are summoned for Treladex to enjoy, and there are various foods here for you to enjoy. Although the spread is a little bit more concentrated than what you've seen on other tables. Natural one, unfortunately, means that a lot of the food that would be varied here has been picked clean. So there is less variety, unfortunately.
That's fine, because hopefully that means the table's emptier. So.
Yes, the table is emptier than the others. So as you're otherwise sat there, you're enjoying it. Terrador, notably, doesn't seem to be eating anything, but does seem to be sniffing some truffles.
Yeah, I was going to say, is there any, like, root vegetables or anything along them lines?
Yeah.
That, and just something liquidy for Tula and fishy for my cat?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, various meats are here, various broths and soups for whoever may need it, as you and your summons otherwise settle down and begin to enjoy your food. The Guardian sits down as well and just kind of nods to the other Guardian at the table, who does kind of acknowledge them, notes who they are. You know that the Guardians all seem to be Kingsguard, individuals of particular skill and elites within the city to a certain extent. In this sense, brought to servitude to serve food for such a festival. A
Perfect.
very nice act of humility by the looks of it for all of them, as you go about and enjoy the food. Vinny, you're hopping between multiple tables. Go ahead and roll me a d20. I'll say... Yeah, just give me a d20 roll.
Right, let's go.
2. One better than last time.
It's not great.
Not great. No.
Oh dear.
You, heading between the tables, a lot of... again, you're all arrived late to the feast, so a lot of the food has been picked clean to a certain extent, and only the Guardians seem to be making food on kind of personal request and to portions that people can finish, given a lot of people have eaten. But you do travel between tables, picking up various bits and pieces, trying the different local cuisines in their own way. Various dishes seem to be made from various root vegetables, meats, a lot of stuff that you might find in more of a harsher winter climate. There's a lot of gamey food as you go about the various tables. A lot of the non-conjured food seems to have been eaten already, so unfortunately you don't get to try any of the home cooking people might have brought, but you do get to experience the food and the chatter a little bit, moving from table to table like a few other table hoppers at this time, as you are moving about and enjoying and very much basking in the enjoyment of these people here. There is a general air of everybody is enjoying themselves today. Everybody is celebrating, everybody is relaxing. It is a day where no work needs to be done for the most part, where people are required to a certain extent to enjoy the day. And people are doing just that, and they're relishing in the festivities, as it is the last day of the harvest festivals. Okay. Kirv
Okay.
and...
Well,
oh, sorry, go for it.
yeah, disappointing not to find anything particularly. So I was just going to say, disappointing not to find but the atmosphere is best I can anyway.
Okay. Not sure if it's just me, but you might be a little bit out of sync, so it might be worth disconnecting and reconnecting, Vinny, just to make sure it's all okay. Because we could hear you okay, it might just be a little bit out of sync.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Yeah, like we only heard half the message before you disconnected there. Definitely something to do with syncing on Discord. Welcome back.
I've returned. Oh, wait.
Should be alright.
Alright. Cool.
Awesome.
We'll just do a quick syncing test, actually. I will count up from 1. Say go when you hear me say 1. 1, 2...
Go.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, there's not to worry. Okay. Much better than before then.
I thought we were all doing it, and I'm
Oh no, that's fine. It's all right. It was mainly a test for Simon to make sure, because previously it sounded like it was maybe like 8
It's a bit
seconds out.
concerning. We've still not heard anything from Dan or Rebecca.
Yeah, I know. They're just not here. Speaking of which, Mortar and Kirv, you two, not hearing the syncing test over the telepathic bond. What are the two of you doing?
Oh, sorry, I didn't realise we were involved in that.
No, you
I thought
weren't.
that was
No,
only-
that's the joke.
That's the joke.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Oh, okay. Fuck's sake. Okay.
So what are the two of you doing at this time? Are you table hopping, enjoying cuisines? Are you settling down on a single table?
I'm happy to be table hopping.
I second that.
Okay.
I want to try what they have.
Okay.
I still don't know that the Ice King's there, do I?
No, not yet. But we'll get to you in a moment. Go ahead. I would like one of you two to go ahead and roll me a d20, please.
By all means, you go for it.
Oh, gotta lean forward now.
Oh,
no.
no.
I was
Sorry?
thinking I was being nice.
D20.
Just a d20, yeah.
D20.
Come on, make it a 3. Okay, 15.
There's a 15.
Okay.
Always.
Going from table to table, you two with the keener perceptions, the urge to want to try something new in this instance, you revel in the experience, and although there isn't as much of a spread, you do manage to get a wider variety of foods than the other companions thus far, who have struggled at finding good bits and pieces here and there. You find a few latecomers who bring some home meals. You have little bits to try for those foods. You travel from table to table. It's generally quite well. There is a opportunity as you go, because you rolled high enough here. As you are going from table to table, you otherwise arrive at a table which seems to have the Ice King at the table, currently talking to some of the people who are sat there eating. If you wish to otherwise make yourself known, whether you would like to bow or present any gifts or anything else that you might want to do, you're welcome to. Otherwise, we will assume that you move on with like passing ships in the night.
This could go horrifically wrong, so I don't know if I should do anything. There's like a million things I want to do, but none of them are good. So I'm going to... Mortar kind of looks at this person who pointed out to be like the Ice King and kind of goes, no, I probably shouldn't. I really shouldn't.
You get a feeling from the back of your mind, dismissing the thought of challenging him.
Honestly,
whether it's Snap or the DM, you're not entirely sure, but that thought is just dismissed and locked away.
It's hard to say. It was like in 1 minute, it was just squashed. I take like psychic damage as that thought is just imploded on itself. I'm like, ah.
You eat a roast potato and recover the hit points. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. I just go, check it out. He's eating with the people. That's unusual for kings, I think. Right?
That's what I asked you.
Yeah, hey, you should know better than to ask me anything, to be absolutely honest.
Are you feeling okay?
I don't know. Like, I'm feeling good. Like, it might be the suit talking, but like, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling kind of, I don't know. You look nice. I mean, let's eat more food. Oh look, beer! Mortar walks over. Mortar quickly walks over to a stall which is definitely not selling beer and is definitely selling cheese.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And finally,
Can I go up to the king?
if you'd like to, yeah.
Oh lord.
Yeah, you can see he has what looks to be a neat, what looks to be some form of kind of a man bun, kind of held in place by what looks to be some metal pin of some form. As you get closer to him, he's kind of leaning down and talking to a particular individual, kind of thanks them and kind of pats them on the shoulder with a very familiarity to them. As he goes to move to the next table, you happen to be intersected in his way.
Fuck, I didn't think this through. I don't say that.
Hold on, where's the quotes channel?
It's great, just in the way.
That's so good. It's like you go to say something, you're like, what were you saying?
I mean, you can always make a performance check or deception check if you want to for bluffing your way out of talking to him if you want to change your mind.
No. Look, I'll just say, Your Majesty, I presume.
Indeed.
Lovely to meet you. I have been staying here with my party for a couple days now. You have a wonderful city here.
Thank you. That is much appreciated. An adventurer, I take it.
Yes.
Wonderful. How goes questing? Are you finding yourselves in a bit of a predicament, or are things going well?
What do you think? But free food is always food is always welcome.
Okay, with a natural 19 and an insight of 35,
Fuck.
he looks at you and goes. He looks at you and goes, I take it things have been not as productive as of late, but look on the brighter side. You made it to Glasson in time for the festival, at the very least. Say,
Exactly.
as the otherwise kind of looks at you. Say, are you perchance with a particular group of individuals, including a Centaur, a Minotaur, and some other individuals?
Oh God.
Get me in there. You can do it.
It keeps
I just
me
hear
out.
over
Romulus's voice in the telepathic bond is like,
It's like,
Kirv, you're talking to the
this is
king.
our inn.
Tell me where. Give me coordinates.
We all just hear heavy breathing in our heads as Romulus is like.
An ODST drop pod containing Romulus lands directly beside the king.
Oh God, yeah.
Practical insertion. Thrust.
So,
No,
Well,
don't
that's
remind me why I have come to bargain.
Probably trouble.
well, that all depends, Your Majesty. Are we in trouble?
to a certain extent, but I have been informed that it has gone well.
Yes, we have been doing a lot of training.
Good.
And there has been good progress, I assure you.
Good. Glad to hear it. Well, do enjoy the festivities. I must continue my rounds and talk to my people. So please,
Of course.
enjoy the food and make sure to enjoy the dance with your party and your friends. And the
Dance.
individual, or the Ice King, steps past, kind of politely nodding at the two guards. They give you kind of side glances as they go past, very much taking note of who you are. I mean, the comment of "what do you think" seems to have been a bit on the harsher side, but he hasn't taken it as such. It
so
seems like the
funny.
guards are all just like, okay, we see you for who you are. He may be being nice, but we don't have to be.
We've got you.
So they take note of who you are, and it has now been noted as the Ice King moves on and begins to talk to the next few people. As this happens, Romulus, go ahead and roll me a d20, please.
Is it for anything in general, or is it just a random D20?
This is for a little bit of a random event. If you roll a 15 or higher, you happen upon the Ice King. Either he attends your table while you're there, or you bump into him. 3.
Nope, it does not happen.
Oh.
We're
Does
doing
anyone have
well.
inspiration I can use?
No,
Asking
but
the party
I've
for
tried to
inspiration.
It doesn't help you.
That's a great question, actually. Let me check.
Can you Tides of Chaos my shit?
No.
I think
I
I
don't think
do
so.
actually have. I think I do actually have inspiration I can use.
If you want to use an inspiration to try and get Romulus in, I'm fine with that.
I would so laugh if it got
I will
to the
say-
end of this.
Shoot.
Everyone has seen
I
the
will
king
say,
except
dude,
Romulus.
Dude, I will say, you need to shoot this shot. If you don't shoot this shot,
Mhm.
you're gonna regret this for the rest of your
You know
life.
what? We gotta try. We gotta try. Let's do it.
I will allow it.
Let's do it.
Simply because you're of a telepathic bond, and Mortar, while you're watching Kirv kind of have this little bit of a conversation with the Ice King, he's in one place for a moment, so you begin to try and just describe the table and the food that's on it and the general location of where he is to Romulus as you provide him this inspiration to re-roll. Let's see what you get.
Come on.
Come on.
5.
Nope. Fuck.
Oh, come on.
It hurts. It hurts. It hurts on the inside.
Does anyone else has an inspiration they want to use?
Do not have any.
I don't. As we're all linked telepathically, can I send Jeff up and give him some directions? Is that a thing I can do?
Roll me a perception check for Jeff.
Um,
DC is 10.
Part of me wants to put a shadow
Okay.
sword directly on top of the table when the Ice King walks by, stop waving at Romulus.
It's a +3 with advantage, so it's
So
a
12. A 10.
12.
You see the Ice King, or Jeff sees the Ice King, and Romulus, you see a peacock flying, a crystal peacock flying through the air. It must be a sign. Go ahead and give me another roll.
Can't
This
make
is
it any.
the single funniest thing we've done.
Oh, come on!
That it's going up in jumps of 2
Oh,
is
it
really funny.
hurts.
Vinny,
Oh
have you
my
got any
word.
bullshit you want to use here?
Oh man.
I don't have inspiration, I'm afraid. Sorry.
If you have any
I
other
don't know.
creative ways to try and get Romulus in, I will allow it. I'll say that Mortar has helped so far, Kirv or Cat has helped so far,
Okay.
so Kirv and Vinny,
I-
if you
I
wanted
would
to do
like to-
something.
Can I use Giant Smite to make myself larger so I can get a good view on the room?
Fucking hell,
Oh, you're
somebody
going to steal
get
something.
for it.
Well, it just. Oh my god. I like to imagine it just gives you advantage just for a little bit of height.
That's
Yeah, you
so
know what? If
funny.
if somebody else can give him a quote unquote reroll, I'll allow you to use Giant Smite to have advantage on the next roll.
I mean, I have invigoration, but that's strictly for saving throws.
You've
can I
also
twist that in
used
this
yours
sense?
for your inspiration in this instance.
Oh, gotcha.
So it's now
okay,
down to
no
Kirv
worries.
and Vinny if there's anything they want to try and do to
I
get
see,
Romulus
I see.
in.
Vinny, could you're a bard. Do you have any
I could bardic inspiration you, but that's
Is that a thing? Would you let us spend
I'll
that
allow it.
to...
okay.
It just means you don't have a reroll, so then Kirv has to have a reason to provide a reroll.
Okay, so I've
okay,
given you
okay.
advantage. Vinny's giving you
Got
bardic
advantage, got
inspiration.
bardic inspiration, but we just need
Curve to give you the
a reroll
reroll.
of something.
Yeah, so some creative
Have you
manner in
got-
doing this.
You got
Curve is
anything?
standing next to him.
Yeah, Kirv is standing next to him. Is there something you'd
Kirv
like
is
to try and do,
standing next to him.
Kirv?
I am going to assume that I have Eugene and Filch,
Okay.
who are both have like a golden shimmer to them, and their claws may be painted gold at the end. And perhaps they fly up and sort of one of them circles round the king, hopefully a bit too high for him to notice what's going on, and the other one is going to go and try and get Romulus.
Okay.
So flying to Jeff.
Go ahead and make me an animal handling check.
Oh, I'm good at those.
So, reason I'm asking you to roll this is I rolled 2 dice, one for Jeff, one for Eugene. Not for Jeff, for Filch, and one for Eugene. You go to look for Filch and Eugene, and you know Eugene is sat there, seemingly a little bit overstimulated with everything that's going on.
Oh no!
But you note that Filch is otherwise on one of the nearby tables, and he has otherwise nicked a sausage and is currently running away with it.
Mm-hmm. I rolled a 9.
A 9.
Yeah.
You otherwise have your familiars. You can send Eugene up if you want to try and do that, unless there's anything anyone can do to try and assist with this. If Vinny, you want to expend another bardic inspiration and pop one towards Kirv to give her a plus. It's up to
I need
you.
to save some of my luck for a dance later, so.
Can I use my action surge?
You know what? I'll allow it. Okay. As Eugene and Filch are
Go for it.
elsewhere, Romulus is like, I must find this king. And there is a moment off in one corner as the rest of you are like trying to help this, and you're like, we don't see Romulus. You watch as this Super Saiyan glow Minotaur just grows in size at the corner of this area and just begins to peer out across the everyone here. Go ahead and give me a roll with advantage and adding bardic inspiration should you need it.
It's a D8, is it, Vinny?
Yeah. I'll say
It's
go
a
ahead and roll.
D8, yes.
Go ahead and roll with advantage first before rolling the D8, just in case you don't need it, because you might want to use it for if you're talking to the Ice King.
I think he doesn't.
Oh no! Oh, this
I need
is.
to lay down. I can't.
You know,
This is not destined.
there will always be Benoit Blanc.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what, Chris? Can I please get rid of these die? They're clearly cursed.
That's fair. I'll get you some new ones. You,
I have been objectively cursed here.
Here's-
Oh, dude.
you know what?
The dice have never cockblocked someone so hard.
This is going to be
4 rolls?
the 4 or 5 rolls now. I will say roll me a persuasion check.
This one.
Okay. Yeah,
This is
and you
why
can
I have
add,
persuasion.
and you can obviously add your inspiration die to this if you should wish.
Thank you. I have a -1 to persuasion.
Ooh. What we got?
The one dice that wasn't
No
replaced.
way.
Why?
Okay, you know what? Let's
No
run
way.
the 8. Let's do this.
8.
Okay. So that
Okay.
is
A 12.
a total of 14.
Oh.
No, 12. Yes, you're right.
Okay.
12. Sorry, math's not good.
While this mental connection is going on, you feel these pings otherwise shooting around between all of you, trying to hone Romulus into where he should go. You hear an audible sigh over the telepathic bond from the Guardian, who is still attached to all of this. And you hear him say, "The Ice King always goes clockwise. I will give you one final roll, no advantage.
No advantage.
No
inspiration.
advantage, just one
The
flat roll."
Guardian should be happy. We're working together for a
Yeah,
common
the-
goal.
Yeah. Never once have we been.
You
so
know what?
united.
I will say this can be your choice of a perception or survival check. Now remember, you have advantage on these still, so I'll actually allow that if you would like.
I would very much like.
I will be
either
increasing the
of those.
DC slightly because obviously the DC would usually be 15 for a flat roll, so it will go up
I
a little bit.
I do feel like perception has to be the most appropriate one. As funny as it would be, I'm not tracking the Ice King.
Okay, so this is with advantage. The DC for this will be 20 for the nature of you
then-
putting a lot of effort for this.
The 9 is unfortunately not going to do it.
19.
19 on the other hand.
24.
Is that the one?
Oh,
This
With-
is the one.
With
Am I
everything,
clockwise?
with everything going on throughout the entirety of this, as you've all put in so much effort to make this happen, you pick up on this and you go, all right. And you, with the aid of your entire party, you shrink in size and tactically position yourself on a table which he has yet to go to. And as he approaches, you can see the Ice King in all of his presence. There is no...
Most important thing. Ring fingers. Anything going on there?
There are rings on a lot of his fingers.
Damn.
In terms of a marriage ring, there doesn't seem to be any fancy engagement ring or marriage ring by any means, but there are rings.
Okay.
But they
Don't
are
know
on other fingers, so they might just be decorative. It might be that the traditions are different, but there doesn't seem to be an obvious marriage symbol of any form.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay. It's always easier when there's not a goalie in between the goalposts.
Just if you keep missing the goal.
I mean, look, we've been trying here.
So,
Uh,
as he approaches the table, he speaks to one individual further down the table from you. It's up to you if you wish to interrupt or let this go by. But
I'll let it play by until there's a comfortable point. I'm not going to interrupt him
Mhm.
talking. That's a bad shout. But I am going to wait for my moment.
if you wish to make a perception check just to kind of listen into what he's saying, get a general idea of the conversation, you're welcome to. Yeah.
Oh, now you're rolling well. You
New dice.
dicks. New dice. You know what? Yeah, I'm sorry, dice. I shouldn't call you dicks. It's this bastard that's a dick. Thank you.
There you
go. Has been sent to the void.
Sent to the void.
So,
yeah, I'm listening in.
yeah.
That's a 23 or something.
Listening in, he otherwise kind of goes over, talks to the individual, notably speaks to them by name, and kind of catches you off guard a little bit. And you note that where he's spoken to them by name seems to have an air of familiarity. Yet this individual doesn't seem to be of any particular special import. They're not a noble. They're not a powerful wizard. They just look like someone who does the work that needs to be done. Possibly a hunter or a tanner. You're not entirely sure, but for lack of a better term, a common person.
Mhm.
And
And just to check, this familiarity doesn't have
undertones.
affection involved in it. Like,
It
it's
doesn't-
not romantic overtones.
It's not romantic, no. It seems to be more of
Good.
just a familiarity of a sovereign and their people. And as they're talking, you see that a dish is otherwise kind of placed in front of the Ice King. He tries a little bit, talks to them, and you note that he gives constructive criticism on cooking, and then gives them a recipe from his pocket.
Oh,
That's your in.
Oh shit, that's it.
I
Oh,
must-
God.
I don't mean to interrupt and overhear, but you're discussing recipes.
The Ice King looks at you. The individual they were talking to kind of looks at you, not necessarily taken aback, but like there's a third person talking to me now. And the Ice King kind of stands and just kind of almost finishes up the conversation a bit and just goes, "Give that a try. It might give you some inspiration for your next dish." And you would be?
Romulus of the Beastlands, visiting for varying reasons.
Son
but-
of the Undying Lord. Intriguing.
Oh, most people
Oh,
don't
shit.
know that. Yes, indeed.
Many of our power and tendency share notes. Your father is a jestful character and a bit of a, not to be offensive, charlatan, but he is intriguing.
I have not had much of an opportunity to get to know him, considering how he has deemed fit to treat his children. But I bear no ill will towards any interpretation of his character that you may hold.
No, not at all. I hold him in high regard for what he does, and I heard of his challenges that are taking place, and, well, many of the people in power who are on the know have taken interest. It's good to meet one of his heirs.
Yes, I don't suppose you happen to have met any of the others.
Not personally. I've heard of their various doings, and some who are doing rather well, as well as others who have been thwarted.
Well, I find myself somewhere in the middle of the pack.
Don't suppose that you were the ones who dealt with Professor?
We certainly dealt with her. Whether she has been dealt with permanently, I was unable to confirm.
I'm uncertain on that, but I did hear of the work of dealing with the demonologists just northwest of my borders. Good to
Indeed.
hear.
Well, that one was partially personal and partially business, but we always strive to do our best. My main thankfulness is that she cannot continue to harm innocent people.
That is good. I'm glad to
Now,
hear it.
You've called my father a charlatan. I would be very interested to hear all about it.
Oh, if there are
so
people he has not bed, you will find more of them as a needle in a haystack than others. But
Given his number of children, I'm not surprised.
this is true.
Yes, funnily enough, we do not all bear a startling resemblance to one another.
No. He has had many dalliances with people. Not as many here as he may have had in his prime, but many. Some say he is otherwise the all-father of many Minotaurs. As much as that isn't linearly true, it's certainly a fun rumor to be spread around. I haven't been acquainted with him that personally, but I have
God.
heard of his work.
I thought that's where it was going.
Oh, now Romulus is trying to pull the king. Fuck.
That's awesome.
This is the
Okay,
family.
can I do an insight check on, like, is this someone who, having specifically mentioned dalliances of that nature. Someone who seems open to dalliances
Roll me an
of
insight
some nature.
to see what this gets.
That is a 22.
22. You're trying to read his face, and he is either a very good liar or very good at persuading. But you get the general air that he seems very welcoming and open to most people. He's hard to read. You don't know whether he's... I'd say that there's an air of uncertainty, but you feel like if there was ill manner and mention behind it, he probably wouldn't have mentioned it. It's one of those that it is a humorous event that took place, perhaps, that he may have noted.
Well, I, as much as I do hold some respect for my father's more positive qualities, the work he has done, I am not him in many regards. And
Few would be.
Regardless of the outcome of his little challenge, I do not think that the Undying Lord should always be quite so cavalier. Of course, I do think that it is good to build relationships. And having come to your fine city and dealt with the varying situations therein, I have found myself wanting to know more about this place. But all of that can wait for some future time, perhaps when I am successful, or perhaps when I am laid low by one of my siblings. For the moment, I really am quite interested in what that recipe was.
I have several. I have a few copies of different ones, if you would be interested in such.
With yourself, certainly. What have you been cooking up?
What would you prefer? What kind of dishes do you prefer?
Well, having been raised in a tribe when I was younger, I managed to... Well, you have to work with what you have. Various types of stews and roasts, and doing things on the spit, the basics, the simple, honest things. But having traveled, having learnt from various individuals, I picked up bits here and there, and I've been making a few bits and pieces of baked goods, a few, whatever I can manage on the road. I visited, I'm trying to remember its name for a second here, Zaka's Crossing, and the lack of fire made cooking difficult. So I've had to improvise a lot. I would say that generally, though, my personal preferences lean towards that which is hearty and hale, good for warming the belly on a cold night. Certainly fanciness is possible and pleasant, but I think that should always be secondary to satisfaction.
In which case, these two might be of interest to you. And he proffers 2 cards to you. Giving them a quick scan over, you note that one of them seems to be of a red wine bourguignon of some form, kind of a rich, very hearty meal, one that would be good in colder climates, ones that would be relatively easy to acquire a lot of these ingredients from scavenging or being in the mountains, with the exception of red wine, of course. But it seems like a very good one. The other one seems to be more tied to something that you could do in Zaka's Crossing. And reading through the list, there are a few ingredients here that you don't recognize. One seems to be, as you're going through it, it is noted with a asterisk. And as you otherwise take note, you note that this is a magical ingredient. And you note that it is what looks to be, as it otherwise states, ice crystals. As you're
Oh.
trying to gauge what it is, you discover the recipe for honeycomb and using bicarbonate of soda, which are the ice crystals. As you are going through this, you kind of note that this is what you would consider a pleasurable and sweet treat by all accounts, but learning how to make something of this nature that is doable within Zaker's Crossing could be very revolutionary.
This is a very, very useful recipe. Thank you kindly.
You're welcome.
Certainly, if I get the opportunity to make them, I would be free to let you try, if you'd like.
Of course. I'd always be welcome to seeing how my recipes turn out in others' hands. Always
Perhaps
welcome
I'll have to get
new experiences.
Must love a new experience. I shall certainly see about creating something pleasant. And perhaps I might write you out one of my own. I'm going to very quickly whip out some of the paper that I'm no doubt carrying for Cat. And God, we don't have numbers here, do we?
He's burning my resources. Outrageous.
Cat's like,
Shut up. Shut
Cat.
up. Dad's trying to get some.
Cat somewhere on one of the other tables is like, no, he's using my special paper and ink for spells. I won't have a good round number. I'll have 49 golds worth of each. And Cat's just trying to stand up and go and interrupt.
Looking at the table.
I think what I'm going to very, very quickly write out a recipe for honey roast boar, where there is where you marinade a freshly caught and drained boar in a mixture of ale, mustard, honey, and garlic, and then wrap it up in. I'm going to say, you know how certain foods like wrapped in banana leaves and then placed inside a fire to cook.
Yes.
Yes, so something similar to that for mountainous regions.
Okay.
Perhaps it's wrapped in cleaned bark from a tree. Perhaps it's wrapped in simply in a vast number of reeds or similar.
I was going to say there are various vines that you dealt with when you were back in your home. So that would be sort of thing you'd use.
Vines definitely works, and it's you slow roast it for a long period of time, and in the mixture of its own juices and this high sugar and alcohol content, it will break down the boar until it is very tender, kind of like broiling, or somewhat similar to a brisket, perhaps. And then you finish it off with a sear, served with usually root vegetables and whatever greens can be scavenged, or mushrooms. And I'll quickly write this out. And I think on the bottom, I'm just going to sign Romulus Rust, and at the end of my signatures, just a little. I think something Romulus has been working on, a little rune that equates to how Romulus sees himself in Giant.
Okay.
So in my Giant runes, essentially, it just shows Protector, Father, Guardian, kind of all mixed together into one little rune. It doesn't necessarily mean anything, but if this is a learned individual, which I believe they are, they might be able to work it out.
Yeah, they can read Giant, yeah.
And I'm going to hand it over and simply say, I would be most happy to see how you find my own recipe.
Okay,
Just let me know.
So with a 34 on their cook's utensils expertise they have, This individual looks over this recipe and nods.
Can I roll for
And-
making it for it to be fancier than I've made it sound? I want this to be impressive.
Go ahead and roll me a cook's utensils test. I will say, or check. This would be... I'll say for this, use intelligence because it's simple. Intelligence or dex, your choice, for the idea of making it either look or sound fancy.
It's not sounding fancy. I want this to be fancier than Harlan can come up with right now. Or like,
That's fair.
I want this to be genuinely good and impressive for this individual.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. I can't get to a 34 unless I roll a nat 20.
I'm rolling that 20.
What stat should I be using with this cook's utensils?
I will say this would either be, if it's trying to... For the knowledge of this, I will say that this would more be akin to either survival or some form of history or something similar. So I will say either using intelligence or wisdom. So this would just be
wisdom.
cook's utensils for wisdom. Yeah, which you have advantage on because of your enhanced ability.
Because I still have advantage on those.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da-da.
That was
So
speedrunners.
just roll a nat 20. Fuck!
It's not the natural one, though.
No. It's only a 12, so it's like, this is... I guess it is just like, this is my kind of cooking of like, it's humble, it's simple, it is what it is.
I'll say it's one of those... The scenario in this instance, I will say, is... The natural 20 avoids the natural... Or not natural 20. The advantage avoids the natural 1. I will say in this instance, there is a moment of haste going about this. The Ice King isn't necessarily wanting to leave, but you get the sense that they do have the duty of wandering around while this meal is going on, as per the hard-to-pin-down nature.
Okay.
But as... So there is haste, but you avoid making any mess-ups. And it is noted of the recipe, and he is reading it and intrigued in it. With his 28 on insight, he otherwise looks at you and goes... a father. Mr. or Mrs. Rust, otherwise here today, or?
No. Adopted. The Centaur girl, cat,
Yes.
I am her guardian, and with her consent, I see myself as a father figure. And I take that role seriously. But alas, I am without any partner.
I am maiden.
I see.
Oh no.
Well, it is certainly good to
Inside that,
hear of such things.
please.
Go for it!
Come on, dice. Don't fuck
2
me.
ones.
Come
Come
on,
on.
man.
Oh.
Okay. 23.
23.
Okay.
You get that there is a... The question has been asked if there was a Mr. or Mrs. Rust. There is an intrigue there, either to meet said individuals or potentially understand an answer of there not being one. You get the sense that this individual has taken an interest in you. Your knowledge of cooking and the nature of the conversation has gone well.
Yes.
There is the possibility for a personal audience, you get the sense, but you're not entirely sure when the time would be right. Right now, he's wandering around addressing his subjects. You know that there is a dance coming on. You don't know what the formalities of that is. After which there is a speech with the Ice King.
Immediately.
And who knows? Anything could happen. But you get the sense that you have a hoof in the door, so to speak.
Yes. I am going to... Oh, thank you. Thank you very
Cat's
much.
just cringing over in the
Your
other
Majesty.
corner.
Excellent.
But-
Thank you very much, Your Majesty. I've kept you too long. Please.
Of course.
Go about. I shall hope to see you later.
I hope so too. Otherwise smiles and wanders on. Okay.
Romulus is just gonna go to a corner for a moment and just like have a decompress. Okay, immediately goes to find Vinny because he does not know how to dance in this place. Vinny, I need to. Please tell me you know how to dance in this place.
Okay. I will say
I do. Do you?
coordinating
Sorry,
telepathic bonds, you find one another. Go on.
I need to learn how to dance so that I can maybe dance with the Ice King. I think I've got an in, Vinny. I really want to impress them.
It's so bad.
Cat's just hearing all of this, just like, oh god, no.
Cat's just boiling in
Oh.
rage. Cat is just enraged.
The king.
Look, it's the most cliche thing imaginable. He insulted my father, so I'm immediately there.
Repeatedly attracted to him.
Well, if that's the case, we haven't got any time to lose.
Aw.
Okay.
Oh,
I will say.
Right, I'll show you a few steps. You'll have to improvise from there on your own.
This is a mountainous culture, so there's some overlap with what I do know, but yeah, I gotta try.
Here's what I'll say. Vinny, go ahead and roll me a performance check. This will be for the nature of showing some moves to Romulus. And Romulus, please go ahead and make me an insight check. This will be to try and follow along.
Okie dokie.
Oh god.
Performance. Come on.
21. Come on. Yeah.
27.
27.
Nice.
Nice. Between the two of you, you give Romulus an emergency crash course on dancing. This is still going to be tricky to a certain extent, as you may be aware, metagame-wise, performance is a charisma roll, which is unfortunate. However, I will say with the successful performance, you can use Vinny's charisma for any performance rolls you make for dancing tonight, Romulus.
Yes.
Whoa.
That's huge.
So, Vinny, what is your charisma?
That's a game changer.
My charisma is 18.
18.
Plus 4.
Okay, so Romulus, for the rest of the night, for dancing and performance checks related to said dancing, you will have a +4 instead of a -1. If you have proficiency, you will retain that.
That's huge.
Get in there.
Don't suppose
Okay.
he gets to use my proficiencies.
Unfortunately not, no.
No,
I
would be too much to ask.
That would be
This is
awesome.
already a +5 for me.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I'll say this. There's still, a charge in the totem to change it to charisma if you wanted
There's
to.
still 2 charges in.
There's
in the
still 2
totem,
charges,
so
yeah. So you've
I'm,
got.
I'm changing when the dancing starts. I'm changing it to charisma,
That's
and
fine.
I'm gunning for the Ice King at some point.
That's fair.
Alright.
Okay. So, with that and that crash course on dancing, Mortar. You're otherwise enjoying the meal with you and Kirv, and the meal seems to be winding down. You can see there are individuals getting up now, tables are being moved. Throughout this whole thing, there is something that has been nagging at the back of your mind,
Okay.
and it's only now beginning to dawn on you. As your telepathic intrusion hasn't been working.
Huh.
You're...
That's weird.
It's one of those weird things where you don't notice it because you only really notice stuff when it happens. But you're noting that there is seemingly a telepathic presence. Multiple telepathic bonds have been set up between all of the Kingsguard. But you're noting that your telepathic intrusion seems to be smothered. You don't entirely understand
It's
why.
being suppressed.
It's being suppressed at this current time. You currently cannot pick up on any of these lines. You were more preoccupied during all of this enjoying the food, but between the time when you're eating and the dance is being set up with tables being maneuvered and such, during that little bit of downtime, you notice that you can sense the telepathic links, and there are a lot of them, as there are a lot of Kingsguard and a lot of guards that are on duty and such, but you can't sense them, and you don't know why.
Huh. Alright. Mortar kind of almost like when you're trying to get like water out of your ear to unblock it, he kind of like
Yep.
pats the side of his head, like kind of tilts his head and tries shaking it, and he kind of blinks a little bit, sensing something's a little bit off.
Yeah.
Just like his equilibrium's a little bit off, and he's kind of like, oh.
Go ahead and make me a
That's fine.
charisma save. I'll say with your consciously
Ooh.
trying to remove this effect.
Okay. That is a total of 18.
18. You try to remove it as best you can, but you feel like it is still there. Possibly a rest will help when it comes to sleeping tonight.
Yeah,
You're not entirely
just
sure.
wound up.
Yeah, maybe a bit wound up. Maybe it's a moment of you've got other things to focus on and it's just taken a back seat for a bit. You're not entirely sure. Maybe the stress of the previous events from yesterday have taken their toll. You're not entirely sure. All you know is that you note it. It's a little bit off-putting, but it's not enough to make your day any worse.
Okay,
Just
yeah,
something
I'll
to
just
note.
kind of clock it. Yeah, I'll just kind of clock it. And a little bit of like curiosity is kind of piqued, but he's kind of like, nah, stay in the moment, enjoy what's going on now. Like thinking about the future gets you in trouble. So he kind of focuses on kind of on the like surroundings and everything, and enjoying his time with Kirv, and just says like, so hold up, you said what to the Ice King?
I got flustered, okay? He seemed so down to earth. I thought I could be down to earth with him, okay?
Oh, that's awesome! Oh, that is the best. Okay, next time. I didn't realize you were actually going to go up and talk to him. Next time, I'm going to be there. We are wingman in that shit because this is going to be awesome. Oh, that's so good. Woo! Wow.
Romulus appears out of nowhere. Please don't.
Cat, also the same. Oh God, no.
The party's competing over the Ice King.
You know what?
Could get him with
Today's
cutesy eyes,
been-
I'm sure.
Today's been nice. Like, I don't think I've ever felt this relaxed. Wow.
I get what you mean.
Yeah, it's like, I took, I put on something nice, and we all just hit the town. And it's like, I don't know. It's like it just feels like a weight's been lifted off my shoulders.
It's nice to see so many happy people.
True that. Yeah. So, looks like they're setting up for a dance. That's cool, I guess.
I wonder what kind of dances they have in this sort of place.
I have no idea. I barely know my left from my right when it comes down to dancing, so should be an interesting experience. But hey, what the hell? We're here to have a good time. You interested?
You want to dance? Yeah, sure.
Like a genuine smile crosses Mortar's face. Like he just kind of like tugs at his lip and it just slowly grows. And he's like, cool. Yeah, well, I guess when they finish setting up. Yeah, let's do it. Why not? Let's do it.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. I don't think Kirv would have been to a dance before.
Probably
Need this
not.
Mortar.
No.
It's alright, you'll be the two people just vibing in the corner, it'll be alright.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, love it.
Oh yeah.
Meanwhile, Kat, you're at the table, a little bit sunken after hearing that your dad is now getting with the Ice King, or trying to get with the Ice King. The entire party is on board with this, as much as you are to a certain degree. They're all working together. It's really nice. You still feel a tad uneasy. Like, this is the first day since your transformation. You've just gone through some team building, and it's already paying off, which is great. But in this moment, you also feel like a little bit, not necessarily left out, but you are away from everything that is going on at the moment. Granted, it was by choice to go and sit and have some food on a separate table, surrounded by your companions, but as much as there's familiarity with that, you feel also your party has grown not just in summons, but in personalities with one another. There's almost a moment of reflection there.
Nice. Just sort of like, just there, dwelling on it a little bit, like, wonder if, what'll happen if he ends up romancing the king? Am I gonna be... I can't stay here. Well, that's something for later on, and should stroke the cat and Terrador and... We might stroke Teledex, because there's a level of respect between the two of them, but... Who knows? This king... I like his style. Like, he seems to pay attention to his people. Wonder if he'd pay attention to his family.
I do think Romulus would try and locate Cat before the dance. Not necessarily right now, but just letting you know that that's something on my mind.
Yeah, we'll say during the when the dance is beginning to take place right at the beginning, as things are building up and such, there will be a downtime period where you'll be able to go and meet up with Cat, and people will be able to change places, should we say, if anybody wishes to talk to other party members. Go ahead and roll me a d20, please, Cat.
Oh, 20?
Yes, and also roll this with advantage.
Okay.
Roll me an insight check, and I'll roll the opposite to this. Okay. I need to quickly go have a look at... what did you roll? Okay, no. What's your insight?
-1.
-1, yeah. So, no. As you're sat there kind of contemplating all these thoughts, you kind of sit there. Time begins to go by. Eventually the Guardian stands up, and you know that the Guardian casts telekinesis, lifting up the table and moving it to one side. Other Guardians on the other tables doing the same thing, lifting up the tables, moving them to one side. As the floor begins to clear in the center, people kind of going around the exterior, you can hear the band begins to play and begins to open up with their music. As this is taking place, you watch as the Ice King kind of takes a few steps down from, or has been talking to the band and takes a few steps down to the center. Esteemed residents of Glasson, it is good to see so many of you here today, and I do hope that the food has been to your tastes in more ways than one. Thank you all, truly, for the year gone by. And they gesture behind them, and the band begins to play. Let's hope this one's more fitting for it. Nope, that one was... Nope, I have lost the one that was good for this. My apologies, we'll use this one. Actually, let's try this one. This one I know was pretty good.
Just to clarify, is this Ice King the one we met previously during the whole Mortar kerfuffle?
Mortar kerfuffle?
Yes, the one that showed up.
Which
and
one?
sorted things out.
No. That was a Ice King guard. This is the Ice King himself talking to...
Okay, just making sure, because I didn't know. I was like going, was that an Ice King or was that an Ice King guard?
That was an Ice King. That was a King's guard. Yeah, that was the Ice King just talking then.
Just making absolutely certain before I referenced something and fucked up.
No, that's fine. Oh, actually, that one might be better for this. Sorry, I'm just scrolling down my music and seeing what was best. I've just seen one called Medieval Banquet. That'll do.
Play hot to go.
No. As
Hotttogo, you can take me hot to go.
we have a
Hit
Harlan,
it.
it's fine. So as the in between before the dance truly begins, if people would like to converse with any other party members before the dance begins, you're welcome to do so.
I would like to very quickly speak with Kat before I start to seek out the Ice King on the dance floor. Kat, I have reflected and realized that perhaps some of the things I was saying over the telepathic bond were a little inappropriate, and I do want to apologize for that.
What, the give me inspiration? Give me
I-
your inspiration!
Long story short, this may just be a brief infatuation, but I have found myself somewhat drawn to the idea of a king that clearly cares about their subjects, who has an interest in cooking, who seems genuinely interesting and at the same time outspoken, and well, nothing necessarily will happen, but I would like to see if the option is there. But regardless of anything else, you are and will remain my top priority. And anyone or anything that doesn't accept that will be swiftly excised from my life.
No, that's fine. I mean, you've got to chase your own happiness too.
I know, but your happiness is my happiness. Just wanting to make sure you know that you're always my priority.
That's okay. Thank you. And she just goes and gives you a hug.
I hug back.
Your passive
Also,
insight.
I-
Your passive insight picks up the guardian who's been taking care of Kat, just making sure that she's been okay throughout all of this. He's currently
Okay,
sat
please
there
don't
on
out
a. He's currently sat there. You can see that he's kind of sat on an invisible chair using the telekinesis to sit down, as he's just kind of sat to the to one side. You note that as you say certain things, you note that there are like small head movements and kind of like, oh yeah, okay, and just kind of nods as if like agreeing with a statement. Your passive insight picked up that he seems to have some form of information that, yeah, the Ice King might be interested in you.
Oh my god!
Hey,
Okay,
affirmation.
sorry, 1 second. Guardian?
Yes, sorry.
I saw that.
You can only have
What did I
one. You
miss?
can't have all of them.
So
Romulus.
what?
I saw your... No, no, Cat. Not that I'm not getting into that. You had a look on your face when I was
Did I?
mentioning things. Apologies if that was, about your boss's boss. I don't know what the chain of command is like here.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Sorry, what did I miss while I was away?
Romulus has had
What's
a
this
word
about?
with Cat, and the Kingsguard rolled very poorly on his deception, and so was
Uh-huh.
actively like nodding along and agreeing to certain statements that Romulus might have an in with the king.
As the dancing has started, could I have the charisma totem activated?
Also, yeah, I'll allow that.
Oh,
It's that sweet advantage. God, thank fuck for it. That's only like a 15.
Okay, he rolled better on this one. He looks at you and goes, I'll let you experience what you need to experience and go through the works on your own.
Okay, I just want to make sure I'm not stepping on any toes.
No,
There's
not at
a-
all.
Okay. Apologies if this is weird for you.
Nope, it's fine.
thank you.
I mean, kind of, but no. Anyway.
Right. Anyway, I've got to get to the dance floor.
If you're gonna make him my third dad,
Okay, that's a lot.
Just
We'll
go and enjoy the dance, and he otherwise shoos you away to the dance floor.
we'll talk later, Cat. And I'm going to go and
The-
try and find
The
guys,
Guardian
see
turns
what
to you, Cat. He's not going to become your dad anytime soon, don't worry.
Wait, what does that mean?
You didn't hear that? Go on.
You guys
Shoot.
know
He
it.
shooed you away to the dance floor for a reason.
cat's eyes just like, oh god, just that Minotaur.
He'll get to spend some time with the king, but things don't often things don't often settle him. There's a reason he's not married.
Okay,
Oh.
okay. Well, I wish him the best, and if they do somehow manage to hit it off and settle down,
If they
hopefully
do,
I don't scare him
then-
off.
Not at all.
Hey, I'm a bit of a monster.
Hey, look, if it's any consolation, if he does end up settling down with the Ice King and you are without a father, I imagine that means that, by all accounts, I will probably be sent with your group to be your guardian, given that you will be his foster daughter, sort of.
Oh,
Look, I get to see the world if that happens. I'm not going to complain. It'll be weird.
This fucking guy.
Hey, Romulus, I found your next character in the event that you end up wanting to settle Romulus down with the Ice King.
Oh, that's
No,
funny.
the next character is Slipinator 2.0.
Oh, I never said that this mage couldn't be Slipinator 2.0. He just maybe specializes in ice.
This fucking guy.
You're right. Excellent. Right. That's fair. That's fair.
But in all seriousness, I doubt it'll happen. But maybe in time. But for now, you need to enjoy the festivities. Don't worry about things like that. Like he said, you need to pursue your own happiness, and you need to pursue... Well, he needs to pursue his own happiness, like you said, and you should pursue yours as well. Dance with your elementals if you wish, or maybe Treladex will take you up on a dance.
oh look, I vote Treladex. How does he respond to that?
Shrugs. You note that Treladex seems a little bit like distracted, almost as if like looking off into the distance, but with kind of the mention of his name, looks back and kind of nods as like, yeah, sure, why not?
Okay.
So,
Before you go, or are you coming with if we don't?
I'm not
It's
going
in your
anywhere.
phone.
I'll be keeping an eye on everything, so I'll be with. I probably won't dance with unless you want me to, but
You can join in with us.
maybe? Just gonna
Look.
roll a check for him. Okay. No, he's fine.
I'm dancing on two bone nubs, and I've got a very chunky elemental. I'm sure you can't dance much worse than me.
That's fair. If need be, I can always cast invisibility on us so we can dance in peace, but... Yeah. That's why I have it prepared for today.
So do I.
There's nothing worse than being in a party and then not being able to leave. Casting invisibility and walking away is just excellent. I'm glad to find someone of a like-minded nature.
Though, to be honest with you, if people are watching us dance, I don't think they could be looking at me and you dancing.
No, that's
Probably
true.
the fact that there's a giant dragon and a big elemental dancing probably will get some attention.
You'd be surprised. You know, the entire square is otherwise surrounded by like giant ice elementals.
True.
Sorry, just
Oh.
be right back, guys.
Granted, they aren't necessarily vibing, but they are there.
Fair. Oh, there we go then. We'll be
Yeah.
fine.
Okay. Very well then. So, you go and find a spot where you and your companions can dance. Vinny, during this all, is there anything particularly you wanted to do? You made note of the band earlier. Vinny?
Sorry.
Hold on. That's my
There we go.
mic thing.
It's rocking
There we
out
go.
hard.
Yeah.
Here you go for the drum and bass.
Yep.
Yes. No, the main thing I want to do is join in the dancing when it gets started up.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I'm just going to be getting ready for that.
Okay. Alright. In which case, Romulus, go ahead and roll me an insight check, and this will be just to get your timing right for the joining the dance and potentially asking the Ice King for a dance at the right time. Everyone else, I would like you to make me a performance check, please, just to see how well your dancing goes.
18.
Given that there aren't necessarily any stakes involved in this, this is just for fun. DC isn't particularly high and is more for comparing how well everybody does. And what was your total there, Romulus?
18 on the insight.
18, okay. You know that there are various individuals who do go up to the Ice King, what looks to be older members of the society kind of go up, and you can see that they do kind of dance with him for a little bit. Just like general fun dancing in their own way. Other people kind of in pairs or groups, they get together, they dance and they chatter, they all get along. And it's all very friendly with everybody. They all kind of getting along, and there's a lot of general communal dancing in this way. But you do find a particular moment where kind of some of the older individuals have moved off, and there isn't necessarily a queue to dance with the Ice King, but you can see that there are a few people who have tactically positioned themselves near the Ice King to try and dance with him. With your 18, you time it perfectly between two individuals when it's like, one of them's getting a little bit tired and is going to go down and have a sit down or a drink or something, or go and dance with somebody else and not just hog the Ice King for the whole night. And then you just kind of quickly slip yourself into that spot to be next to dance, and he otherwise reaches out a hand to you to take his hand for a dance.
Fancy seeing you here.
He
Smooth.
he smiles and go ahead and roll me a performance.
Okay,
Oh,
so
my
this is with a
man.
+4, yeah?
Hell yes.
With a +4,
advantage.
and you have advantage, yeah.
Come on, man.
Vinny,
Come on, man. I'm rooting
just in
for you
case,
so
bardic
hard.
inspiration, right?
You are most welcome to it, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, my man.
Oh,
wow.
very nice.
So 21 at the moment. Do you
21.
want to add the D8? I will say this
Is
now,
the
there
man
will
gonna
only
fully
be a
shot?
single roll for this. I'm not going to
Oh,
have you
okay.
roll multiple
In that
performance checks.
So this is the roll, then I gotta add it on.
Yeah, man. Add that pizzazz.
25.
Okay. 25.
Okay.
The
Nice.
upper five
Those are
level.
Vinny
I'm happy with
numbers.
that.
Okay.
Those are Vinny numbers of dancing.
Those
So,
are Vinny numbers.
here's the thing. With how these checks usually work, you are trying to not necessarily beat a DC, you're trying to get close to whatever your partner or opponent rolled. You got a 25,
Oh, interesting.
he got a 26.
No way.
Yo.
As
No way.
he also rolled an
Hell
actual
yes.
17. And
Oh, dude.
Oh, we're so in sync.
Oh, it's
And I'm
beautiful.
so cheating.
two
at
of-
this, and
I couldn't, like, it was just, I rolled the 17 and I was like, oh no, Romulus has to roll so high. And then you got this and I was like, nah, never mind.
That's
So-
so good.
So you otherwise dance for a bit. There are moments where the sound around you of the music just kind of flows over you. The sound of nearby people just disappears and fades away as the two of you relish and hold this moment kind of dancing together. A beautiful moment of respect and understanding between the two of you. And as you dance, there is a smile there, kind of a respect for the dance and how well you are doing. And some time goes on, and much like any activity that you may enjoy, it passes so quickly compared to how long time actually is, and it is agonizing when there is a moment when he kind of stops dancing to you and turns to some other individuals to dance with them. But you feel this sense of joy and this inspiration within you, and I will give you inspiration for this.
Hell yeah.
Actually, I'll give everybody inspiration because everybody has partaken in making this happen. So if everyone wants to mark inspiration...
Thank you, everyone.
Woo!
Woo!
We did it.
Dude,
As-
I was so surprised at how invested I got in this.
Yeah, I know,
I was
right?
like, this is gonna happen.
As...
I want to stress, I'm still invested in this.
Oh yeah, as
Oh,
the
respect.
as the time persists, what is your passive perception? 15?
My passive perception is 15, yeah.
Okay. He rolled a 2 on his sleight of hand. So as you are dancing, he slips a bit of paper into the top pocket of your attire, and then kind of bleeds away into a dance with somebody else. You take a moment to read it, and you see that it is a giant rune, written to specify a time.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Brother's got that dog in him. Brother's got that dog in him. Let's go.
Okay.
Okay. Does it have a location as well, or...?
No, it's just a
Oh.
time, but I will say with the general implications of this, it seems to emphasize be ready at that time.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay. When is the time? Is it like soon? Is it like tonight? Is it like what's...
After the festivities are over, it seems to be about half an hour after.
Okay. There is
Oh
just a
my
moment
word.
where along the telepathic bond, you just hear, yes!
Okay. During...
I think 100% while I was dancing, everyone was getting like a... either they were getting a really panicked sort of like, oh god, I hope I'm doing this right, and then eventually it bled over into, I'm happy. This is
I had the time of my life.
Okay. So, I'll go around the table and ask for everyone's performance checks. So, Vinny, what did you get?
It's a 27 on performance.
You are no stranger to dancing, and there are several times when you can dance with whoever you want enjoying the festivities. You can find any individual on the dance floor to your liking. You can find workmen, rich people, you can find old ladies willing to dance, you can find seemingly younger youths who are willing to just dance and vibe with whoever. It is very much a friendly dance, and you partake in enjoying all the different types of dancing and the different types of enjoyment and happiness that these people have to offer. With a 27, you leave the night feeling very pleased, in fact.
Nice.
Kat, what did you get?
Well, this is where it gets messy. Cat got 6, Terrador got -1, Treladex got a 19.
Okay. No. Treladex can
dance.
dance. As Treladex's jam comes on, Treladex really does enjoy the dance, and there is a moment where he's seemingly getting a bit carried away, but very much enjoying it. Your Guardian got a 12. Not bad, but not great. As your Guardian is enjoying themselves as well, seemingly... What is your passive insight here? 9? Yeah, no, never mind. As you're dancing, you're enjoying yourself as much as you can. It's a little bit clumsy. You do clank a little bit with the new metal rings that you have around your back hooves, but you're otherwise enjoying it as much as you can and as much as you are. Terrador has to stop at a certain point. as you are noticing that the square, the paving seems to be becoming a little bit loose at times, as Terador is jumping around a little bit too much. Nothing that a mending cantrip can't fix, but that's something that people don't ideally want to do. So Terador at a certain point does just stop dancing. Not necessarily sulks out of it, but Terador's had his fun.
Nice.
And Kirv and Mortar, you're going to want to ideally get within 5 of one another.
Sorry, just at the end of Kat's dance, she receives a shadow spawn, looking like Mortar, with holding a little note saying, "I've saved you a dance. Don't be a stranger, Mortar."
Aww.
And then, as Kat gets the message, the shadow spawn gives her a little hug and vanishes in shadow.
Okay.
As it gets closer to the end, I'll go look for him for one last dance then.
Okay.
No worries.
So, Mortar and Kirv, what did you get on your performance?
I got
13.
I got a 12.
Hey, look at
13
that!
and 12, within one again.
Wow.
Hell yeah!
Your dancing isn't as immaculate and well practiced as, say, Romulus and the Ice
Oh.
Kings, but you two are vibing. Like, you come from completely
Yeah.
different nations, you've both
We
got
are
2 left
feeling
feet,
it.
you don't really dance all that much, but you two are enjoying it and getting along. And as the two of you vibe and dance, it is a wonderful night. What dances are you two doing, if I may ask?
Oh man, I mean, hold on. Like, I have no idea. Like, what kind
Macarena.
of music? What kind of music's playing? Is it like proper like ballroom music, or is it?
It's varied. There's a lot of like,
okay.
there's a bit more lively music. There are a few slow and kind of somber beats. There are some kind of in-betweens in a lot of ways. The music is highly varied.
I think Mortar specifically is looking at the dances that other people are doing, kind of all around him, and he's going, "Okay, I'll copy that one," and then another one will catch his eye, and he's like, "Oh, I'll copy that one," and it's like he's just changing based on what he's seeing, and he's kind of like, "Oh, okay, I'm making my own rhythm up," but it seems Kirv's like matching it, like bit for bit. It's like, okay, all right, we got a little something going here.
Okay. Two of you.
And yeah, Mortar's never worn such a big smile.
Aww. Could I do a roll for Eugene and Filch?
I'll roll those. All right.
They're like just
They have
on
minus.
top of one of.
They have
the
minus
lights.
3s, don't they?
Yeah,
The
that
shit
sounds
we're gonna
amazing.
talk about. The shit
All right.
we're gonna talk about.
Oh,
Kira.
well, Filch got rolled a 2.
So Filch got
Or
a
Eugene
minus.
rolled a 2.
Eugene
Sorry, I would
got-
say Eugene rolled a 2.
Okay. No, I'm going to make that Filch. Filch got a minus 1 total. So Eugene is vibing and enjoying the dance on top of a light. You look up and you note that Filch is drunk. and is currently swinging around on the lights over and over again. Not even just a
Oh, that's
dance,
awesome.
just swinging, but you can tell Filch is flat out drunk. He stole a sausage earlier and he has found liquor somewhere.
That's amazing. Oh, it's perfect.
Okay. As you enjoy the night. Is there anything anyone would like to do before Kat and Mortar have a dance before the end of the festivities?
Could Kirv have a dance with Vinny?
Yeah.
Certainly.
Go ahead
I
and
like
make...
to
There's
think
an
that-
opportunity.
I like to think
a
that-
father-daughter dance would be nice.
There'll be time for that.
I like to think that as Vinny approaches Kirv, Mortar does a little spin and then almost spins her off to Vinny.
Alright, I'll ask for a performance check from all 3 of you here then.
Oh, God.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
This is gonna be
dear.
awesome.
We are not going to be matching Vinny.
Oh, we'll
This
see.
is gonna be...
He might roll low.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay, so Mortar, what did you get?
14.
14, you spin Kirv off towards Vinny. Kirv, you aren't as expecting it as much, but what did you get?
16.
16, still pretty good. You flow with it, and Vinny, what did you get?
23.
23.
Ooh.
Your
Yes.
experience and seeing
Wow.
this coming, you otherwise kind of bleed into it, catching catching Kirv and proceeding to begin a dance. The two of you very much enjoying the music as you kind of shift dance partners. Mortar, you go and find Cat and begin to dance with her. Go ahead and give me performance checks, you two.
Hell yeah. Mortar's going to try to, obviously, because of Cat's like lack of mobility due to certain things. Like, am I alright to roll with, try to roll with disadvantage to try to
allow
match?
Yeah.
Let her lead in a way.
Actually, no. Here's how we'll do it. Roll with advantage,
Okay.
but you choose which one you get rather than just taking the higher.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
So I believe, disadvantage you always take the higher, or is it you choose? Well, that's a natural
dear.
20 from Cat, so you're going to want that
I got
13.
27. I rolled a
Holy shit.
27.
That's a 16 for Mortar. He approaches okay, I'm gonna take the slow cut, and she's just friggin' spinning Mortar around, putting him into dips and stuff.
I was watching Romulus dance.
That's my girl.
So here's the thing which makes it a bit interesting, I'll say, in this moment. As Cat, you have been watching Romulus and picking up on what he's been doing and the dancing and how well he's been doing. The training that Vinny has given him has seemingly paid off, not just for Romulus. And in this moment, as you begin to dance with Mortar, onlookers would see magic invisibility otherwise twirling Mortar around and holding him in dips with some form of magical force, which they don't bat an eye at. This is a high magic city. In actuality, seeming is just covering the fact that you are using all of your tentacly appendages on one of your arms to spin and dance with Mortar. As Mortar, you are outclassed in every way.
Yeah,
as you are dancing and you're like, oh yeah, I'll take it slow for Cat. And then she comes along and she's like, oh, I've just had some fun with my summons and had all this. I'm going to let myself go a bit. And you begin to just go with the rhythm. And Cychania digs it. And strangely enough, Cat, you feel almost as if the creature digs it as you begin to dance with Mortar.
Nutty.
Apparently my creature likes dance. Time to take dance lessons.
Hey, I mean, if it works, Mortar could definitely use some dance lessons, that's for sure.
Okay. And one final roll for Romulus and Cat. And Romulus, you have advantage on this because of your enhanced abilities still up.
Okay.
Please don't roll a 20.
I will try.
can't-
I don't think I will.
You still have your
plus
+4 for this, remember?
You
So-
still have your stuff. Yeah.
Okay, I got 15.
Nice.
19 and a natural 20. So you can choose the 19 to lower the roll so that you're more in time with Cat. I will allow that. Or you can outclass her in every way. I'll leave the choice up to you.
Could I give
Okay.
Cat my inspiration?
I'll say hold on to it, seeing as this is more just for fun
Yeah.
at this
Okay.
point. Because
Can I put
it would be better if
an
everybody has inspiration for
alternative
next
use
year.
of the 20?
Okay.
I've got an alternative use for the 20.
Okay.
Can I take the 20 and use that to be showing Cat how to dance?
Using Vinny's
guiding
training
her through
for
it.
Cat. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
I'll
I think that's a
yeah.
kind of cute father-daughter thing, and it would kind of explain the disparity between them.
Yeah, I'll allow that. Using where Cat was picking up on the tricks from what she'd seen you doing when you were dancing with the Ice King, and you show up to watching her completely outclassing Mortar, to then it goes into a almost lecturing style dance where you're kind of helping Cat through all of this and teaching her and kind of showing her the moves that you were shown and kind of correcting
Vinny's on
her
the
footwork a
sidelines.
little bit.
Silently-
Yeah. Vinny's proud
I'm
of
so
like
far, my pupil. I'm
Yeah.
so proud of you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed, and in this moment there is a very warm kind of father-daughter connection, and the entire party just feels they've been able to relax after everything they've been through, and despite the stress of yesterday, when Mortar was driven to the brink of madness, when Cat broke and progressed further as a creature, completely transforming into a horrendous monstrosity and nearly killing several. Despite the atrocity of what happened yesterday, with some rest, some calming and soothing nature to it all, with a little bit of team building to help you all through this moment, and a little bit of kind of connection and chatting. This festival has definitely put the cherry on the top of the cake. And you all feel very satisfied and happy with the dynamic you currently hold within your party. The understanding and the welcoming of such a relaxing moment in time. But the night isn't over yet. As each of you begin to wind down, the dance coming to a close, the Guardian leading you back to the magnificent mansion where various individuals wait. Romulus, do you make it known to the rest of the party that you will be leaving, or are you going to be sneaking out?
I think I'm going to tell Kat, and I'm going to tell Vinny.
Okay.
I'm not going to be telling Mortar and Kirv, because I do know them, and I do want to avoid the risk of them trying to help.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
fair.
Respectable.
You see,
Okay.
on the one
But
hand, this doesn't show the
unavoidable.
most amazing team building, but it does show that we do know each other.
Respectable, but unavoidable.
Yeah,
We'll find you.
that's fair. So, with that, before we get into what Romulus experiences, is there anything else anybody else would like to do? As the winding down goes back, you go back to the magnificent mansion, you're all full, you've enjoyed the dance, and there is light snacky foods there to kind of top you up a little bit before bed if you would like. Some warm hot chocolates, some general nice sweet natures, and a very welcoming warmth to the air within the magnificent mansion.
So is that while we're at the mansion or before we leave?
While you're at the mansion. If there's anything you'd like to do
While we're at
before
the
you leave, you're welcome to do so.
I kind of want to inspect the king and see what kind of person he is around his people towards the end.
Yeah, roll me an
Because
insight.
this guy potentially is going to be my new dad.
Your daddy.
Again, that's way down the line. This is
Cat-
currently
cat-
just it's a
as-
date at best.
As far as she's concerned, she doesn't really understand dating, and she's really bad at. Is that an insight? Yeah. I
Yeah.
suck.
So-
That's a one.
A
one.
dirty
Yeah,
one.
one.
Okay.
Dirty one.
You've seen his interactions a little bit throughout all of this. He seems to be a very kind character, but you can't read any undertones of danger if there are any. You also can't pick up on whether there might be any obscuring, or whether this is an act, or whether this is just wholehearted truth. It's hard to read, but his outward going appearance seems to be very welcoming and talking to his subjects, actively going through with them on various matters, and very welcoming, seemingly just enjoying the night with his people. And although there may have been the distraction of Romulus, he didn't decide to indulge in just Romulus. It seems that there is a loyalty from him to the people, and he seems to want to give everybody that opportunity to talk, to chat, to dance, to share recipes, whatever the instance may be.
Cool. Cool.
Okay.
Just mutter to herself, I'm watching you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she trots.
Okay, back at the mansion, is there anything anybody would like to do before we see where this goes for Romulus?
Um,
I
Okay.
I will re-up telepathic bond in case Romulus needs something.
Needs help.
Okay.
Please
Yeah.
don't.
You can shout it out, but
oh my
Give us
gosh.
your exact
It will just be
location.
like a deafened and mutant function at some point.
I imagine that.
Absolutely.
I imagine you can sort of like cut out something.
Telepathic bond.
Is literally just Discord.
Yeah, telepathic bond is entirely a you get to choose what you send. It's not like they can read your thoughts all the time. Unless that is the intention with a telepathic bond being used for, like, jumping into people's minds and stuff for, like, future use of that with Vinny, for example, where you've used detect thoughts up until now. Until such time as you end up using that, for that purpose, it is a entirely voluntary thing what you send. There is not going to be any accidental slips. There's not going to be any, like, sending anything unless it is comedically funny. There will not be any, like, embarrassing slips or anything.
So I'll probably do it when you've told me and Vinny. So if you need some advice from Vinny, because maybe you might want some advice from Vinny. I don't understand how these things work.
It's just like, I don't know what to do in this situation. Vinny, phone a friend.
All Cat knows
Vinny is
is
his
when.
lifeline.
Honestly, all Cat knows is when he got flustered and needed to learn how to dance, he instantly went to Vinny. So there might be a moment where he's like, I need to know how to do this! Vinny! So, Cat in her innocence is just like, okay, here you go.
Yeah, Vinny,
Is every
if
roll
Romulus
truly a
asks you for
goal?
help at certain parts of this, feel free to say no, fuck off, and end the call.
I mean, I'm happy to help. I just think it's funny that Vinny is suddenly like the love guru now.
Look, as I've established, Vinny, you're the only other attractive one here.
Whoa. Shots fired. Alright,
Fairness, Damien
That's
did
fine.
leave.
that's true. You lost your token, hot
That
boy.
is true. Yeah, our token human.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No. Vinny will, of course, respond if anyone needs help, but in the meantime, I've had a good day and met some new and interesting people, and I'm going to try and use that experience to start writing a new song.
Aw.
I
Nice.
don't know what the song is going to be about when it finishes, but I'll start trying to compile some ideas.
Nice. Okay, so you spend some time going through some lyrical design, plucking tunes, writing words, and lyrics, and figuring out how you want it all to tie into itself.
Yeah, trying not to plagiarize any of the musicians from today, but allowing myself to take inspiration.
Yeah, but the music was catchy.
Mm.
But yeah. Okay. Kirv, you said you wanted to do something?
Yes. So, Eugene and Filch with me, and I'll sort of look to Eugene and say, "Look after him, will you?" There's a
I'll
very
try. You watch as a
very
Bryn
drunk
comes out with a
Filch
bucket of water and just begins dunking Filch in the bucket of water to sober him up.
Aw. I hope you two had a good time.
Yeah, it was good fun.
And I lean down and I say, "You both look spectacular."
Thank you. Okay.
And if there is a moment with Mortar around,
Absolutely.
is there like any kind of balcony around? Somewhere that we can look outside?
I mean,
I mean,
Yeah,
I
I'm
was
pretty sure
more
we can,
asking Chris, but
If you want,
okay.
if you want a
Sorry.
room like that to exist, you can. Just note that it won't be the real outside because of Magnificent Mansion's limitations. It would be a fake outside, but it is doable.
Yeah, good enough. Sure. Yeah, let's go. Let's go take a look.
so I guess on the way we're just chatting about
Yeah. Just like I'm
Romulus.
still I'm still like losing my shit over the Romulus match with like the king, which is like also I was like, that's friggin' nuts. Like that's really cool.
This
And
fucking game.
I had no idea. I didn't really see the appeal myself, but hey, there you go.
I wonder what a king's bedroom would look like.
I don't know.
I have to ask
Hopefully
the
it has enough room.
details.
Hopefully it has enough room for his fat ass.
Rude.
Wow!
There are many words. There are many words for Romulus. Fat is not one of them.
Well, yeah, but then you see him trying to fit into a human-sized king's room, and then you're like, damn.
Remember, the
Well,
king
it's
is
not
all-
human, it's orc, yeah.
Oh, my bad. Didn't get a good look at him. Oh, fair enough. In which case, then,
while
yeah,
wearing your
actually, there might
goggles.
be a chance. Huh? Oh no, yeah, you're right. Like it was just too glary in there, you know. It's nice to be in a place that's a little
To be
darker.
fair, I am imagining there's a lot of like white shiny stuff.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah. Do you reckon the bed will be able to support two of them? I mean, a half orc's pretty chunky and like a Minotaur.
Oh no, he's not a
I-
half orc. He's a full orc.
Oh, he's a full ass orc. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, that bed better be made of some like adamantine or something. Immune to critical.
That's a
critical
flex.
hits.
That's a flex.
You need to understand, this is probably like the first time when this orc will have been involved with someone who is, like, to a certain degree, larger
horny.
than him.
I am the king now.
Oh. God.
I'm just saying, I might get to use giant might.
Oh. God.
Nice.
Giant's might with some
Never
large
has one
juice.
Never has one action splurge. I mean action surge.
I am so done.
You said
Can I just say, the spiritual successor of Moisty Slickmas actions.
oh my word.
Jesus.
Oh man, yeah, it's been a good night. Yeah, obviously, Mortar's just like cracking up with Kirv, just like about the entire evening. He's had such a good time, and he's just brimming with just joy and good energy.
Kirv feels very comfortable, and she's gonna ask, do you want to know how I got my tattoo?
Yeah, go on.
So, when I was younger, I met, my father brought me to our local blacksmiths.
Okay.
And he had a daughter
Right.
named Craft. And we got along very well.
Mhm.
But you've got to understand, I was very reckless. I'm obviously much more mature now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Oh, what? Roll for deception. Fuck you.
Mortar just grins. Like when he hears that, he's like,
And when I turned 18, I thought it would be a great idea to impress her and take her to the big city. Actually, it was pretty boring there. You'd think it would be more interesting, but it was not. Just mostly obsidian. But there was some people offering trades, and there was a guy who was doing tattoos. It was only after I'd got my tattoo I realized I did not have enough money on me for the tattoo.
oh no. Oh no.
So
Oh,
I
no.
do owe a guy a favor. But heck, he's not gonna find me here. So
I mean,
that
I'd like
probably
to see
won't
him
ever come
try
up.
to get-
You still
I
owe
would
me
love-
40 bucks.
I would love to see him try to collect that favor. That would be intense. Damn.
And yeah, she got a tattoo of a star. I don't know why, but it looked nice on her. And I got a anatomical heart on my back, which I thought was pretty badass.
Yeah, absolutely. Like how big? Like how big is the heart? Is it just like cover your whole back, or is it like a kind of in the center, or like?
It's more just on the left side.
okay.
over the shoulder blade, covering the shoulder
Nice.
blade.
Oh, I'd love to see it one day.
Yeah, maybe. And
Oh God.
I'm so sorry. Kirv was I was really not sure how to respond to that one.
No, it's good. I was just like completely like
Was
not
that
even as
intentional or?
I hope the
Not
king's
even
more
as much
receptive
said.
to Romulus.
Also, it's like not even not even aware of what he said. He's just like, oh yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, that'd be really cool to see one day. It doesn't even register with him what that would entail. And he's just like nodding and smiling so genuinely, and he's like, I've never really thought about getting a tattoo or anything. To be honest, I mean, there's not really that many kind of like places on my skin that aren't already kind of marked by stuff. So I was like,
Stuff.
there's not really much. Yeah, it's nothing. It's nothing to worry about. There's just not that much kind of. It's not really much of a blank canvas, to be honest. Like, I haven't had. Yeah, it's complicated. But yeah, I mean, hey, I mean that's a really sweet story. What happened to her, the Star Girl?
Well, she went home, and her dad saw the tattoo and was not very happy. So very unhappy, in fact, that he came to mine and my family the following day and said I was never allowed to see her again.
I'm sorry, that
Yeah.
sucks.
Well, I mean, I don't really blame him. But I
Well-
saw her. I did see her again. I mean, it's been over 5 years. But I mean, I found out I was going to be coming to the material plane. I wanted every edge I could, and I know a pretty good blacksmiths. I went over, hoping they might have some pity on me. And she was there. Her dad
way.
had passed away, and she was running the blacksmiths now. And yeah, the black scale mail armor I always wear, she made that.
Wow. So, do you mind me asking how it didn't work out? I mean, Dad wasn't there anymore. Wasn't there nothing like really stopping you two from hitting it off and seeing where life took you?
I've been questioning the same thing, and I haven't got an answer.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
But I know since coming to this plane, meeting you guys, meeting you, I think of her less.
Yeah, I never really had much of a chance to kind of have like a kind of a crush or like a something like that. So it's nice to hear that like this stuff does happen. It's just a little part of me is sad I never got to experience that. But I mean, more recently I've been struggling with these feelings. They're very new for me as a person, and I don't really know what's like an appropriate rate to go at with these things. Like, is it like a just go get her kind of thing, or is it just before. Like, I don't really understand kind of the social means of, I guess, asking someone. It sounds kind of stupid. It feels like it's something I should know, but I don't. And I haven't really wanted to ask anybody because it's like, you should know this, you know. You're you know, I don't know.
I waited for a girl for 7 years. I'm not the expert here. As much as I pretend to be.
Well, I mean, most of life is just us winging it, you know? So, I wouldn't be too hard on yourself.
Then maybe we should wing it.
Yeah.
And Kirv will kiss Mortar's cheek.
Mortar kind of freezes awkwardly, kind of unsure of how to
Was
react
that a
to
wrong move? I'm sorry. And she sort of takes a step back.
Mortar's
yeah.
going to grab her by the shoulders and kiss her on the mouth.
Okay.
Go on, Harlan. You've got something to say.
I'm just imagining we're all in the telepathic chat, just like, well, that came out of fucking nowhere.
Well, no, none of none of you are.
On top of the king.
It's worn
They're
off
not
by
in the
now.
chat.
You're on top of the king. You're like,
Yeah.
oh,
The only chat that's going is the one with me, you, and Vinny.
Yeah.
yeah.
The other one's worn off. So, as we pan away from that, the doors closing on the balcony on this very sweet moment, we turn to Romulus.
Romulus is, I think, it's after the festivities are done, so people have probably started to be ushered out. So I think Romulus is just sort of hanging around a little bit, but still trying to look perhaps a bit more confident than he's feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And is probably just sort of idling about. I think maybe he's taken out his Danax and is sort of using it to sort of lean on.
Mm-hmm.
So weapon head down, and he's just resting his hands on the hilt of it, and just sort of waiting and being ready.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be so angry if he gets stood up.
I know, right?
Honestly,
You're-
with the amount of stuff that we've done to push this forward.
As you're kind of standing there
We
leaning,
put so much work into your relationship.
waiting, the festivities die out, people begin to go home. Some people you get those late night drinkers and still a few partiers kind of enjoying themselves, partying on the side of the street and wandering home. There's, as you're waiting, you see a figure beginning to walk towards you, as you see a King's Guard otherwise approach.
I think as they're approaching, I'm going to re-strap the Danax to my back.
Are you ready to go?
Certainly. Shall we?
And then place a hand out.
I take the hand.
Okay, and they cast teleportation.
Fuck.
Oh, wow.
As you feel the sudden shift in nature of where you're going, the atmosphere around immediately changes from the cold air of the open outside in the square with the tower overhead, very well decorated bunting leading to and from the floating tower itself and the rock that otherwise embodies its base. you move into a very nice, almost polished stone room. Pillars otherwise rising up to the ceiling, which is not a high ceiling, but large enough to accommodate a creature of gargantuan size. So 20 foot up, 25 foot up or so. It's large as far as rooms go, but we're not talking like monstrous tall. You see that there are a number of King's Guards standing around as this one otherwise lets go of your hand and gestures forward to what looks to be a set of double doors, large double doors. You see that there are 2 ice elementals standing there at the door, kind of at the ready, and as you approach, they push the door open. The large metal door creaks open, and heading inside, you see what looks to be a kind of a long chamber with a throne at the end of it. What looks to be quite a humble kind of stone throne, a little bit of kind of furs thrown over it and such. And you see what looks to be a half-orc individual, not the full orc, not the king, a half-orc individual kind of gestures and points to for you to come closer. As you do, the individual goes, "I am the Ice King's advisor, and they said you had an audience with them, so if you would please go through into that room and you will find the Ice King waiting."
Of course. If this, I want to stress, Chris, if this turns out to be like I'm getting stabbed in the back and like FBI disappeared off somewhere, I will find you. I will.
So,
And I
That's
go
right.
in.
You got your telepathic bond. You can call for help.
not if he's on another plane, he can't. As you head through into the other room, you can hear the sounds of shuffling and moving about from within. You head into the room and you're a little bit taken aback. You see a very well like a carpeted room, polished stone. You can see picture frames. You can see like hanging bits of bunting. You can see what looks to be pictures that are all kind of children's drawing pictures that have been pinned up on one side of the wall, and you can see that they have where they've just been placed around. You can see a few tables, and you see a large double bed off to the back of the chamber. You can see that there are curtains that are otherwise open at this current time, and you see kind of shuffling around in the same attire that he was wearing before, the Ice King, in a much more nervous environment. As he wanders about, you take in the environment and you note the following things. 1, the bed has been well plushed, taken care of. You can see that there are what looks to be simple kind of dressing gown garments that have been thrown over portions of it in almost seeming preparation. You also note a chessboard that is fully laid out. You note that there is an entire cook station ready to go, and what looks to be various bowls of fruit and snacks. And as you enter, he kind of clasps his hands together, looks at you and goes, "I prepared for any eventuality. What would you like to do?" And gestures to the room. And you get the sense that you could take this whatever way you would like. It can be an intimate encounter here. You can cook together. You could play board games together. You could just eat and chat. Or you could do all of the above.
I think you left one out there, Chris.
Yeah, what's one other thing that could happen, Chris?
I said there'd be an intimate exchange.
I mean,
Cooking is the
of
intimate
fluids, yes.
exchange.
Oh my God.
Cooking is the intimate exchange.
What is this session?
I think
It's perfect.
I think Romulus is going to go up, approach. Well, Your Majesty, I think it is very appropriate to make good use of every available amenity. And I will say that whatever you desire tonight, and whatever you desire going forward, I'm certain we can come to some agreement.
Okay.
And fade to black.
And fades to
Yeah.
black. Okay.
Dude, if you want to fuck him on the oven, just say so. Turn up the hall, baby. I like it dangerous.
I genuinely, I don't know in what way this would go. I will say my personal take on it. I think that Romulus is absolutely fine with something very casual,
Mhm.
but is honestly someone who prefers something with a bit of depth to it. So they'd probably start out getting to know each other. Slightly embarrassing. Harlan doesn't know his name. I feel like Romulus would have made sure to find out what his name is, but wouldn't use it until he got permission. You know, royalty can be like that.
He lets you know that his name is Trelder.
Oh.
He's a little bit embarrassed by it because it sounds feminine when it's used out of Orcish context.
I think there is definitely a moment where Romulus, in full Romulus tone, rolls it around his mouth. Oh yeah, I'm having fun with this.
Cat's character sheet.
Treldor.
Dad too.
Lovely name. Very lovely individual.
My daddy found a new daddy.
Cool.
Which one is truly the daddy? I don't know anymore.
True or false?
And I think, yes, as I said, anything that this individual, that Treldor wants to get involved in, I am a-okay for. But I would like to, at some point or other, raise that we obviously both have our responsibilities and duties.
Mhm.
Cat is very important to me. I can only assume that Treldor's people are incredibly important, and that takes up a lot of Treldor's time. But there are ways to keep in contact over long distance. I think that Romulus would very much like to speak more about cooking and about the other many interesting things that I think he will find. I think there's probably a quite sweet moment where Romulus asks about the pictures on the wall, and I get the sense that Treldor has gotten these from children in the city and has pinned them up.
Yeah.
Very cute.
He goes about showing you a collection where these are just the ones that he got from tonight. And he goes through what looks to be a series of like stacks of boxes of ones that he's been given for several years.
Okay. Again, I don't want to go into too much detail because I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable. But I do think that whatever happens, shortly after that, Romulus will be somewhat overtaken. Romulus really likes someone who cares. And after they've put everything away very carefully, will be pulling Treldor in close for a very passionate but tender kiss. And what happens further on from that, I leave up to people's imagination. If you, Chris, want to work out like what's going on in terms of like, is this a thing or is this a fling?
I will say that the following things you do note that do happen throughout the night. One, there is a... Have you ever seen... I'm not sure what film it's from. The erotic tension when they're at the pottery station?
Ghost, yes. I'm familiar.
Yeah. So that sort of thing happens with cooking.
Oh, excellent.
So there
excellent.
is. So just to let people's imaginations imagine where that might go with pastry and cream,
Mm.
but
What the fuck?
there
Nuts.
there are. You otherwise do enjoy the time. You take some time to sit and chat. There's a little bit of exchange of kind of the finer drinks and finer foods and stuff. There is kind of a semblance to that of this person is royalty, but from the nature of the room, it's not like grand and opulent. It's just very comfortable and seemingly like a nice room just for them. They haven't gone too grand. This isn't a massive chamber for no apparent reason. Like, you don't need an entire room for just reading. They have what looks to be everything they need in at arm's length, so to say. As the night goes on, they do enjoy and indulge in it as well. But there's a hint of something. And I'll say, as the morning comes around, you aren't like pushed from the room by any means, but as the king's duties do take the day away, you are led back. There is a connection, there are ways to chat, but I'll say with your natural insight and how well it had been going to a certain extent, you get the understanding that this, as much as it's a fling, there is almost a want behind this for a relationship, but you can't tell what's holding it back.
I think that then as that sort of parting is happening, before anyone else comes in, but just before, Romulus is going to look at Trelldor and just say, "You have a very important duty that means the world to you. I have the same. I am very willing, however, to try and work something out if you desire it. If you are interested, I'm certain someone of your means can find ways to get in contact. But whatever happens, whenever I come through this city, I would be very glad to swap recipes with you and talk more, because I have had a lovely time, and I can think of no nicer evening that I can imagine." And I will be leaving with just a scorching kiss before I make my exit.
Scorching.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
we are
just
talking
like-
like full on. It's like at least
We're talking like fire rune scorch.
Yeah,
We're talking
he
like cheese.
made
We're
that
talking
This
with
is
the
the
others.
master.
no. The
Yeah, this
fire
is the
runes.
master.
The fire runes were used earlier on in the night.
Oh
Look,
my
for those of you that aren't cat, I can give you a play-by-play.
At least the stone rune was not used. I certainly hope the stone rune was not used.
Only after very frank and explicit conversation to discuss the
A lot
exact
of-
complexities.
And a lot of paperwork.
Yeah.
A
I
lot of
mean-
signing stuff.
He can cast spells as well, so there's definitely
Yeah,
levitations
yeah.
cast. But
Yeah.
Anyway,
um,
moving on.
anyway,
Yes.
roll me a
Like,
strength save.
Strength save. Oh, now this is spicy. So my save on strength is a 9. I can't think of any way to give myself advantage on this, other than, well, I can think of a few, but I don't want to necessarily use any unless it seems relevant and I don't have the context. So for the moment, I'm just going to roll it flat.
Okay.
That is a 28.
Despite the 28, with a higher roll than you, he grabs
would
your
like to
arm as
use-
you go
Ooh,
as you
okay.
go to leave. As you kind of
Oh.
give him that scorching kiss and go to leave, he grabs your arm, pulls you back into a more of an embrace, kisses you back, and whispers, "I look forward to the day we get to share recipes again." And kind of lets you go in peace with a
I think
very
that- I
brimming
think-
smile.
There is there is just that after that. Treldor definitely does see. I'm not great at lying. Treldor definitely sees like a blush on Romulus's face as he leaves. It's visible through.
I will say one thing that does take you aback about this. He is incredibly strong. Like, incredibly so. And you're not too unfamiliar with giant strength items or potions, but he is incredibly strong.
Yeah.
For reference, he got a 35.
Woo! Fuck damn.
Damn.
Yeah.
Even if I get a nat 20, that's still not equal to that.
Still not enough.
What did he roll?
I'm not telling you, but he used his athletics, and he has a pretty high proficiency bonus, because he is a high-level character.
That's fair. That is fair. Yeah, I'll get there.
Okay. So, you otherwise leave the... I'll say as you leave with your passive insight, you do note the advisor seems happy that you've been today.
I feel conflicted about that, but okay.
I will say with your insight, you're able to pick up that most of these people seem to be happy that the king has had some form of companionship, because you get the sense that as much as these people are all like, they're Ice King's guard or they work directly for him, they also know that he's a very lonely person. So, in this moment, you feel there is something special to this, and the individuals around the Ice King can tell that. So, you otherwise leave. You are teleported back down to the rest of your party, and everybody has benefited from a long rest. As we will say before the
I would like to
closing
say,
chapters.
no, I did not.
For the closing chapters of the day, or closing chapters of the year, I suppose, with the final session. You tie up any loose ends as need be. You say goodbye to friends and those that you may wish to talk to in Glasson. You mention anything that you need. Vinny visiting Carvern, though she remains asleep, you say your goodbyes and that you will see her again. You catch up with the various friends that you have made here. The people who may have been hurt are all fine, and you are given a level of approval from everyone. You eventually meet with one of the an associate to the Kingsguard, and you all ride giant ice centipedes down the side of the mountain to Ovok Grow, a 2-day journey that takes place before arriving there, where our adventure will pick up once again next year. So, for those watching and those here, happy holidays to everyone, everywhere. Know that you can be who you want to be. And thank you very much for watching. We'll see you in 2025. Bye-bye.
Woo!
Happy
Bye-bye.
holidays.
Happy
Bye.
holidays.